Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 10 o'clock. We move hey guys. God, it's a First
Both
Friday,
work.
Kids. It's a Hey Guys First Friday. We will do that at 10 o'clock, an hour earlier than normal, to make way for UCLA 20 Most Interesting. Remember, they got Nico, kids. UCLA, this is a Big Ten program. They got Nico. He's in the mix. Jake Trotter going to join us from Las Vegas at 10:30 as well. Get your officially endorsed at the end of the program. By the time we get there, we'll probably all need it. I don't ever do this. We don't ever do this. We don't usually ever put audio in the first segment of the show. Usually we kick things off and we got a lot of things to say, and there's various things that are in it. We don't usually do this. But Tony Petitti spoke yesterday. Yeah, that's right. He got in front of a microphone and people asked him questions. This is the first time he's done it in what feels like a decade and a half. He is not a guy you hear from very often. He's not a guy that, quite honestly, we're kind of preconditioned now to not expect to hear from him. And so I think we just kind of just go along with it. That's just it. You hear from him once a year and then that's it. So he had his big day. He kicked off Big Ten Media Days yesterday in Las Vegas. More on that and just how silly all of that was in a second. But I did want to start with this because this is the commissioner of the league that you play in, and it's him talking about what he wants the end of the college football season to be. And I want you, as you're listening to it, to think if this applies to you at all. Go ahead.
We feel pretty strongly that fans will really gravitate to a play-in weekend. That, providing games that are do or die on the field will drive fan interest. Whether there's enough information that fans have in any one poll about what a new system will be, I'm not aware of how it was phrased or not. I just believe, and I'm talking to our league, the weekend that we're talking about, where you'd have championship games and across all conferences, meaningful play-in games. I don't see how that's a bad thing for college football, and I think fans will gravitate to it.
He ought to ask Ryan Day what he thinks about that. He ought to ask Ross Bjork what he thinks about that. I know why he's doing it. He's doing it because he needs television revenue and he needs television inventory. That's what it's about. It's about money. And it's about trying to put lipstick on a pig that the bottom of this league is. That's what it is. That doesn't apply to you. That doesn't apply to you at all. That's not a Buckeye problem. Ohio State doesn't need another high-leveraged game. We're playing Texas this year. We play Penn State this year. We're going to play Michigan the week before the Big Ten championship game. We don't need any more high-leverage game. We're good. We're good. By the way, we're never going to be a team on the bubble of a 16-team playoff. Ohio State's never going to be on the bubble. We did the math. We went back 50 years. It's like 4 or 5 times that Ohio State hasn't finished in the top 6 team in the country in the last 5 decades. We don't need your charity. We don't need your play-in games. We're good. The resume stands on its own. So who is he representing? When you hear him talk, who is he representing? He's not representing Ohio State. Not representing Michigan. When USC is good, he's not representing them. He's not representing Oregon. He's not representing Penn State. Who's he representing? And why are we along for the ride?
I'd argue right now he's representing UCLA, Indiana, Illinois, Maryland.
Yeah. That's
Michigan
what this league's
State.
always done.
Yeah,
that's what they've done.
Fitting that Gene Smith was there yesterday. The cameras caught him, and it's like, well, a committee's meeting. Gene Smith's got to be there.
I don't know why Gene was there. What he's doing there.
It's been the conference has done this forever, and I don't I mean, it was Eli Drinkwitz that had kind of a similar proposal about play-in games last week at SEC Media Days that when we had Paul Feinbaum, he was like, yeah, it's probably not going to work. But this has been an idea that's been floated for a while now. And it was funny having Tim Mayen on Friday talking about what now is, instead of college football, inventory. And he almost puked all over the desk.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We talk all the time about Tony Petitti and his past, right? It was as a TV executive.
He ran Hulu.
And listening to him yesterday, and we know for a while, right, that this is a business, but listening to him yesterday made me realize more than ever that all of this is just about the almighty dollar. Everything Tony Petitti wants to do and is pushing for is all about making more money. And listen, I understand, that they want to make as much money. And guess what? That does help the bottom of the conference. The more money the conference brings in with TV deals and this and that, the more it's allocated to everyone top to bottom. But it just, it was kind of disappointing yesterday listening to it. And it's just like we're having all these changes and you still want to possibly maybe hang on to the little bit of what amateur athletics were. We're so far from that. It's unreal. And it's a shame because there actually are amateur athletics still at college. But the only one we deal with and care about is football. So that's what we make decisions for everything on is football. And it's, I don't know. It was kind of gross yesterday to me listening to Tony Petitti.
I listened to a guy who did not represent Ohio State. I mean, there's no representation of Ohio State here.
Because they're bigger than the conference.
Of course, yeah, and this can. And by the way, good job out of Adam King. I think it was Adam King who asked the question of if he sent the letter about Michigan. I think Adam asked the question. Good for him. Did you send a letter to the NCAA on Michigan's behalf? Here's Petitti's answer to that.
It's not uncommon in proceedings for a conference office to weigh in on. So I'm not going to address what the contents of the letter we sent are. And because it's an ongoing process, I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment about whether it's enough or not while there are individuals deliberating. I don't think that's the right thing to do in the process.
Okay. Here's the thing, Tony. You talk and nobody pays attention. Nobody. So I did a little exercise this morning. So we don't have any sort of, so the Big Ten has no association with ESPN anymore. But we've said many times that College Game Day, and they're coming this year to a game that's not on their air, they by and large do the right things, and they go to the games that are the biggest games. They have two games on their schedule. The first Saturday, you could go to Clemson LSU, and you could validate that. Those are two teams that could win a national title this year. You could go to Florida State, Alabama. That would be Lee Corso doing his last headgear game at his alma mater. Like, you could do that too. Both of those would make sense. They're coming here because it's the best game. So they largely do the right things. There is zero mention. If you go on ESPN's homepage right now, there is zero mention of a single comment Tony Petitti made. This is arguably the most important voice in college athletics, along with Sankey. Nothing. There's something from Jake Trotter on Ohio State's three quarterbacks. There is nothing on Tony Petitti. And you say, well, okay, well, they're not a partner. ESPN's not a partner. Why would they prop up the Big Ten? There actually is on ESPN's college football page a mention of some of Petitti's comments, but it's beyond that. What about our own television partners that we're so eager to pacify with more games that matter in November? Guess what's on the Fox Sports homepage from Tony Petitti?
Nothing.
Jack. Zero. Nothing. If you click on their college football page, they don't even do it like news. They just do it like, here's 10 Big Ten players, and here's the 20 best players. It's all lists. It's not news at all. But it's even worse than that. There are zero tweets from Fox Sports on anything Petitti said yesterday. There are zero tweets from Fox Sports College Football on Fox Sports about anything Petitti said yesterday. There are zero tweets from CBS College Football on anything Petitti said yesterday. What are we doing? What does Ohio State have in common? If you listen to Ryan Day's presser yesterday, which we broadcast here, all of the questions were Columbus media. What do we have in common with this league? We're the outlier. We are propping up geographically. Is that what it is? Because we're in the region? So we're going to continue to prop up all these clowns and play noon games all the time to satisfy television partners? What are you doing?
Bo, to take that a step further, you go to CBSSports.com. The very first thing you see is a picture of South Carolina quarterback LaNorris Sellers and why NFL scouts are so intrigued by him.
Okay. What are we doing? What are we doing? There's going to have to be. I'm not saying leave the Big Ten, but I do think that Ohio State has been far too good of a partner to this league for far too long. And I know Ross's hands are tied because a lot of this stuff has been agreed to way before he was the man in charge here. Between him and Top Gun Ted, Ohio State needs to flex a little bit. And we need to start getting some things to go our way. And we need this league to fight for things that we care about. I do not care about 4 automatic bids for the Big Ten, and Ryan Day doesn't either. He doesn't. It's not his problem. It's not his problem. It's an Iowa problem. Not his problem. What do we have in common with these teams other than an old geographic footprint? Very little. And it seems to me, based on the listening to PD yesterday, we have very little in common with the guy who's running it. More from Tony Petitti. Him and Sankey are going to decide what this thing looks like. He gives a comment that we're going to play for you next about conditioning fans with success with multiple losses. Sell that on High Street on a Saturday night after a loss. Good luck. We're off and running on a First Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Matty Ice here for McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Do you need a vehicle with more room for the family vacation this summer? Then the Chevy Traverse is for you. This month at McDaniel GM Superstore, you can get up to $3,500 off MSRP on a 2025 Traverse for qualified buyers. McDaniel has been making a difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Get ECO.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. You know, as much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get ECO.
Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 are free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get ECO.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get ECO.
We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get ECO.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get ECO.
ECO, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Dropping just 25 pounds with Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. Now, I'm not Bryson, a mad scientist, but that sounds good. It's about a half a club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards every swing. But from personal experience, lose 75 pounds like me, and it's next level distance. Way better consistency, energy, and mood, especially on the back nine. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180-degree weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio is your Medicaid plan for more benefits, more rewards. We know that good health means more than just seeing a doctor when you're sick. Eligible members can receive extras like home-delivered meals and family essentials, like baby carriers and kids' school supplies. Members can even earn rewards for playing mobile health trivia games. Learn more at AmeriHealthCaritasoh.com and call the Ohio Medicaid Consumer Hotline at 1-800-324-8680 to choose AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see afternoon temperatures in the low 90s with plenty of sunshine, so don't forget the sunscreen. For tonight, mostly clear with lows overnight into the 70s with humidity building back in for Thursday. We do have a heat alert in place as our afternoon highs will be in the mid to low 90s, but the feels like, yet again, getting up into the triple digits, so make sure you're keeping yourself and your family safe. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
A couple of things I really have always loved about college football is the seedy underbelly. It's well documented. And I like that, my team's cheating, yours isn't, so forth, so on. I love that. So that's been fun. That's been part of it. The seedy underbelly's been part of it. Now the seedy underbelly is just out in the open, and it's all above board. The other thing that I think all of us really loved about it was there was a regionality to it, right? My team in my area is better than your team in your area. My league in my area is better than your league in your area. A lot of that has gone away. We don't really have that anymore. My God, we play in a league with Oregon and UCLA and USC and Washington. And so that's a part of it now. Like Cal and Stanford are in the Atlantic Coast Conference. SMU is an Atlantic Coast Conference team. Like these are factors of where we are now. Cincinnati's in the Big 12. I mean, this is what's happened in the sport. And yet the sport is still wildly popular despite the seedy underbelly being how many times did you have somebody tell you, I'm not going to watch it anymore because they're getting paid? And yet more people watch than ever. So it had no impact at all. The regionality thing had very little impact. I think it affects the non-revenue sports a great deal. We don't talk about that enough, but in football, it really doesn't. It's been fine. All of those things have won. The last thing that I think about when you think about college football that makes it so special is forever, really, every game mattered. For the longest time, you couldn't have any losses. And then you could have one. You can have two, but it's got to be the right two. And as we go from a BCS championship game to a 4-team playoff to a 12-team playoff to inevitably a 16-team playoff, some of that is going to go away. It's going to erode. It can't help but erode. And you're going to have, for God's sakes, like think about this. 15 years ago, if you lose the Michigan game, could you still play for a national title? And that just happened. We lived it. That happened. So when you start hearing people like Tony Petitti talk about conditioning us with the one thing that we're still kind of holding on to, that every game matters, and that all of a sudden they don't, that doesn't resonate with me either. Here he is on automatic bids and multiple losses.
I think in every league's interest, not just ours, to have more teams emerging, like Indiana did last year, giving more teams a chance to compete. And there's just huge value in having games across. Look, last year Ohio State was 7-2 and finished 4th in the Big Ten, right? Was undefeated in non-conference play. So, the idea that we can go deep, I feel pretty strongly about that. If you're 6-3 in the Big Ten, I would argue that's a great record. And if you stumbled in a non-conference game, I don't know why that disqualifies you. 8-4 is a winning percentage. If you project that winning percentage in every other sport, I'm pretty sure you make the postseason. Whether it's hockey, basketball, anywhere else, like that type of winning record. So we've conditioned ourselves to think that if you're not a 1 or 2 loss team, you're not worthy of competing. There are plenty of teams in professional sports who qualify for the playoffs who can't get past the first round game. That's okay. They still get to play. We'll figure it out on the field rather than sitting in a room.
They're student athletes until it's convenient for them not to be, and then we're very quick to compare them to professional sports. That makes me want to throw myself through a window. What he just did there, and then somehow bringing up Ohio State 7-2 in the league, and they were undefeated out of conference, and so that justifies a 6-3 team or an 8-4 team getting into a 12 team or a 16 team playoff. What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
His whole 8-4 argument there is just about as ridiculous as it comes, because I feel like the difference in teams in college football is way different than the difference in teams in the pros. And everybody knew Ohio State underperformed last year in the regular season, or at least in that game against Michigan. And everybody knew Ohio State was one of the 4 most talented teams, if not the most talented team in the country all year last year. And that was the whole deserving versus best, all of that, whatever. There's no 8-4 team in the history of college football that was good enough or deserved to play in a national championship game. And again, listen, you can't blame Petiti for this. I don't think it's wrong. You got to go make as much money as you can. But it's just all about making money. You just want more TV shows. You want more revenue. And that's okay, I guess, because that's what it's become. But don't give me that, well, if they lose in the first round of the playoff, that's okay. At least we found out on the field.
Yeah.
That is the argument that plays to a lot of fans, right? No, we don't need a committee. We want to settle it on the field. And you get a ton of the fan base that goes, hell yeah. Let's actually play these games. We did have this when this playoff was expanding, that leagues would be arguing for their record and how their record in conference is very strong because their league's very strong. And so far, you've had every conference arguing kind of the same thing, even the Big 12, where we've said, I don't even think there are 1 teams worthy of competing for an actual college football playoff. If we're trying to talk about the best teams in the land, does the Big 12 have 1? Not to mention 2? This is Tony Petiti kind of just doing the job for everybody, but making it very convenient that he gets to use Ohio State.
That's the
to make his point. Very convenient.
Yeah,
for Mr. Petiti.
It is, and to do it in the same sentence as Indiana, right? You notice that.
Which Kirk Cignetti did it too yesterday. He used Ohio State as well.
Yeah, stop it. Stop. You ain't it. Here's the other thing. As you're listening to him talk there, and he's talking about 8-4. You know what else? And he compared to the NHL, the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. You know what else they have? Salary caps, revenue share, contracts, a draft where the worst teams get to pick the best players. Professional sports in this country is geared towards everybody playing on a level playing field. College football was built and has succeeded and thrived with the biggest class system in all of sports. Maybe only European soccer compares in terms of the haves and the have-nots. Maybe only European soccer. That's the most apples to apples you can get. So if you want to talk about 8-4 and being worthy of the postseason, then salary cap, revenue share, contracts, draft high school kids to teams. This is the problem with college athletics, and this is why everything he's saying to me falls on completely deaf ears. All conferences are not created equal. All teams in those conferences are not created equal. Ohio State's mission statement is in no way similar to Minnesota's mission statement. And quite honestly, in this league, Ohio State's mission statement compares to who? Oregon, Michigan, USC, Penn State-ish, Nebraska, maybe a little of Iowa, maybe 6 of the teams, maybe Washington-ish, a little adjacent. Are there 6 or 7 teams in this league who have the mindset of, if we don't win a national title, I mean, if it's that, then it's Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, USC, because Penn State don't care. Nebraska may have delusions of grandeur. I think they care that much. I just don't think it's possible for them there anymore. But the majority of this league, over half of this league, does not have that mindset. And they're not all created equal. And these conferences aren't created equal. And until you go to a professional model and a super league and everybody playing under the same rules, well, then you can talk to me about 8 and 4. Because then you're all playing the same type of schedule. You're playing the same opponents. You have the same kind of dip in the water in terms of getting the same players, the same quality of player. This doesn't apply to Ohio State. None of this nonsense.
The other thing Petitti said when he was talking about play-in games, right? Which it's saying play in. You're playing in to get into the tournament. He then says, well, if the 3 loses to the 6, there's no reason they couldn't still get an at-large. Well, you won it on the field. You just got it. And you literally,
then it ain't a play-in game.
You literally have a play-in game to get in, and you lost. But, hey, let's still get us in because that'll get us a bigger piece of the pie.
Here's the thing I don't get. He's worrying about stuff that doesn't really matter. The Big Ten is going to get their 3 or 4 every year. They'll do it in a 12. They'll do it in a 16. You're not going to get left out. Indiana was let in. They put Indiana in. Okay? You're going to be fine. Stop worrying about things that don't apply. Start acting like a conference that can walk hand in hand with any other conference as the best in the sport. Don't worry so much about the bottom. It's not that critical. It really doesn't matter. Your money's going to be your money. So frustrating, as you can probably tell, listening to him yesterday, because it just didn't apply at all, and it's crazy he's representing Ohio State and their interests. One thing that we can all agree on is that the mindset around here is different than the mindset of most in the Big Ten. Ryan Day in charge of that mindset, and I think you're going to like what you're going to hear from your head coach. He spoke yesterday on what the mission statement is this year for your Scarlet and Gray. You're going to hear that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
It's time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Stepping into the Kia K4 or K5 isn't just getting behind the wheel of any average sedan. It's stepping into what's next. With a K4, it's a world that's exciting. With a K5, it's one that's bold. The Kia K4 and K5, the next movement for sedans. See your local Kia dealer or visit kia.com to learn more.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Lease a new 2025 K4 LXS for $219 a month for 24 months with $34.99 due at signing for well-qualified lessees.
Call 800-334-KIA for details. Always drive safely. New 2025 K4 LXS 2.0 liter FWD IVT 24,165 MSRP. MSRP includes destination handling and excludes taxes, title, registration, license fees, options, and retailer charges. No security deposit required. Actual prices set by dealer and may vary. Purchase option at lease end at $17,157.15. Subject to credit approval by Kia Finance. Lessee is responsible for insurance, maintenance, repairs 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles a year, excess wear, and a termination fee of up to $400. Subject to dealer participation. Offers may not be combined except where specified. Must take delivery by 8/4/25. Limited inventory available.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a First Friday. By the way, get your Hey Guys questions into the fellas at 971-BFS. You can do it on the YouTube chat as well, as we are streaming there. Winner gets the $50 to our great friends at High Bank. Ryan Day in Vegas yesterday, Big Ten Media Days. He followed Petitti. Petitti went, Ryan gets up there, and away you go. And the tone of it all, and I've been to these Big Ten Media Days, been to a bunch of them. There is an Ohio State contingent that resembles, quite honestly, like the 101st Airborne, like that many people involved. And then some of these other teams have got a handful of people, and that's when it was in Chicago or Indy. I cannot imagine in Vegas how few people are actually there covering this league outside of the people that are on this beat. But when Ryan Day talks, he's got a full dais in front of him. He's got a full crowd and a lot of questions. One of the things that jumped out to me was Coach Day on kind of the mindset that this team has and this program has coming off of the national championship. Here is Coach Day on not being defending champs.
The team that we have currently, wants to leave their own legacy behind. And they made that clear the week after the national championship game. Some of the comments that they made, and we've said before, we're not defending national champions because we're not defending anything. You can't take the trophy away. We're looking to attack and win a championship with this team. So that started in the offseason, and it's continuing into July. I think we've had a great offseason, but now we need to have a great August as we head into this first game against Texas.
Does that sound at all? Does the tone of that match up with Tony Petitti at all? It just doesn't. It doesn't in any way. It doesn't. They're very little similar about it. Ryan Day understands. He knows what's in the brochure. He's been here long enough. He knows. It reminds me kind of a conversation I had with Beamsy the other day. They're at this. They're really getting into it. The game's a big part of it. And when it dropped, they're like, are we going to win the national championship again, Dad? Well, we might. You're going to get a shot at it, but this is a bit of a rebuilding year, and they're quick to be like, well, what does that mean? We're still going to beat Texas, right? We're going to beat Michigan this year, aren't we? Those type of things. So even rebuilding here, and that's an 11-year-old, even rebuilding here is done differently. And the idea being that you have to replace all of the people that you have to replace, and yet, oh yeah, go win it all again is kind of the attitude, is a wild thing to wrap your head around. You think about the path that team went on a year ago, and Bake, you're right, they weren't playing their best football in the regular season. I don't know if it took the Michigan loss to unlock that, but it did. That's the result that we saw. We saw that game against Tennessee and went, oh, well, this is kind of what we thought we were going to get all season long, was this operation. And there was a fearlessness to it. And my hunch is, my hunch is that attitude is what you're going to get out of this operation going forward. Just an ultra-aggressive, devil-may-care, if you're on the tracks, look out because we're going downhill and there's no brakes. I just think that's what you're going to get. I think it's going to be something. They all got a taste of it last year in that chase to a national championship. There was nothing conservative about anything that they did in that run to the national championship. Look at the play that clinched it. Like, Jeremiah down there somewhere. Let's clinch it that way. So I think that's what Buckeye football is going to be this year and for the foreseeable future. I think this national title is going to unlock an entirely different mindset.
Yeah, it felt like going into that Tennessee game, there was a little bit of a desperation, right, to make it seem that whatever happened in the Michigan game was a figment of your imagination, because it was certainly and still remains, and I think will probably remain as one of the most stupefying Ohio State losses ever. And that includes some stinkers against Purdue and Iowa. But going into that Tennessee game, kind of felt like you needed it. And they certainly called it. And that play to Jeremiah in the national championship certainly needed it, and they certainly had it. And I think that does open them up, especially game one against Texas. I'm interested to see how it's approached because I do think it should be similar. Bleep it. Jeremiah's down there somewhere.
Yeah.
I think you, and especially in a day and age, you can afford a loss week one. I think you do, you play aggressive against Texas. I would, because you've got a ton of time to be a different team, to be a better team when that game against Michigan rolls around at the end of the year.
Well, we saw what not playing aggressive got them at the end of the regular season last year.
Yeah.
Right? And it got them, like you said, one of the most stupefying losses in Ohio State history. And that was not the same team we saw in the 4-game playoff. They went out and pedaled to the metal, and we will, the Tennessee game, it was what it was. The first half of the Oregon game is about as good as you've ever seen a Buckeye football team play. They were so good in that first half, and that's what you need, I think. And I hope we still have that. I know there's a first-time quarterback and a first-time play caller and all of that stuff, but hopefully what we see on the field from this Buckeyes team this year is what we heard from the coach yesterday.
I think you will. I think in a way that it was such a push all the chips in move, the Tennessee result. It was just such a no one's got our back. Nobody believes in us. There's a lot of orange in this stadium. Here's all the chips. Let's lay it all out on the line and see what happens. And then they got that result. And then it's like, oh, what if we do this against Oregon? And then they did. Oh, okay. So that's I think, kind of where this headspace is. I think in a weird way, the Michigan loss ended up being maybe the most freeing thing the program's ever had, because it changed the way that they approached things. And I think we saw that manifest with what they did in the postseason. The one big topic that we're going to be paying all sorts of attention to here, and Jake wrote a piece on it for ESPN, and he'll join us in about 45 minutes from now on this, is going to be the quarterback competition and what it looks like, is there progress in it, so forth and so on. Every time Ryan Day's at a mic, he's going to be asked about it. He was yesterday. Here's his response.
I think both guys have gotten stronger. We're interested to see once we get done with our summer program with Mick next week, who are gold and who's Iron Buckeyes. That'll be big for the leadership, but guys have taken leadership roles, and they've been throwing with the wide receivers. And, I ask those guys all the time, and they like both of them. So we're going to put them in as many competitive situations as we possibly can to figure out who handles that the best, because, we got to be on point week one. We can't be messing around. I know that we'll need all of those guys in that room this year. When you look at Will, and he was a guy who, was an older guy who was experienced, and he was able to sustain the entire season. That's not always the way it is. So we have to build depth in that room as well. So I got a feeling they'll all play throughout the season, but it'll be a fierce competition to be who the starter is.
Yeah, I think one thing we've kind of hit on here over the last week or so is just kind of this notion that could you see them both in the Texas game? Yeah, I think you could. Do I think that they will name a starter for the Texas game? Yes. And do I think that starter will be treated as the starter? Yes. I don't think you're going to have like Julian gets the first quarter, Lincoln gets the second. Ryan's never done that. It doesn't feel like what they're going for. But at the same time, I think it's one of those things where if you win the job, it's yours as long as you continue to play well. Because I think there's a lot of trust in both of them. And sometimes that's a little bit of a slippery slope when you go about it that way. But I also think that while the Texas game changes things because you open with that game, it doesn't change the fact that this season is very long. And because of the schedule you're playing, you could withstand a loss or two along the way and still compete for the things that you want to compete for. And the reality is, fellas, this team is going to be a very different team in November than it is in September because of all the youth.
Yeah, I'd argue even September to August to September.
Absolutely.
You're going to see a completely different offense, a completely different defense. And I know that their mindset is we absolutely have to win this game week one against Texas. Now, that's going to be their truth, and it's going to be separate from the reality of making the college football playoffs, still accomplishing your goals to beat that team up north to win the Big Ten championship and then to win another college football playoff national championship. But there's also going to be games, and we might finally get it this season, where you'll have Grambling and Ohio, and then the dreck of the conference, where there's going to be ample opportunity to get plenty of reps for everybody in that quarterback room, like meaningful reps.
Oh, yeah.
Can this be the final year we actually beg for the full complement of Ohio State's offense to be played by Ohio State's backup and or third-string quarterback?
I think the kid we wanted it most for was McCord, right, Reese?
He needed it.
Historically, McCord needed it.
Yep.
And we just wanted him to run the offense CJ was running to get a look at it, and he never really got it. I don't know if that last year they didn't blow out teams that right way, or they just, by the time he did get in, he just kind of handed it off. Like, we never really got it.
Stop that.
Yeah. But whether it's Julian or Lincoln, I think that whichever one they go with to start the Texas game, I don't think it'll be like a job share. I think it'll be, this is the starter, this is the backup, and we'll see what happens from there. But I do think it's a very long season, and he's right. You are going to need more than one. History has shown us that. I mean, look what has happened last year in college. Look what happened to Georgia last year with losing Carson Beck in the SEC title game. Like, these things happen, and you need to have a room that is full of guys who can go. Because on the outside, you have maybe the most anticipated sophomore season since Adrian Peterson in your building. We'll get to Jeremiah Smith and what year 2 can bring coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
It's the summer event at Germain Honda of Dublin, and Rich has deals that are red hot. Lease the rugged 25 Honda Ridgeline Sport for only $339 a month, or finance with an unbeatable 0.99% APR. Or you can take on any road in the all-new 25 Honda Passport RTL. Lease it now for $449 a month or 3.99% APR. Summer's here. Dive into the savings at Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for details.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Right now, Private Selection 80% lean Angus ground beef chuck in 1-pound packages is $5.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See? We didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
The savings are on at Coughlin Ford. Lease a new 25 Ford Escape or Bronco Sport. Just $399 a month with zero down. New 25 F-150 or Lightning Flash. Only $499 a month with zero down. At all 4 Coughlin Ford locations, including our newest in Marysville. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
48-month lease. All factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. 7,500 miles per year. 25 cents per mile over. Excludes $250 dock fee. $395 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 9/2/25.
Attack and dominate. Morning Juice is on YouTube and 10 TV Plus.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Join Bobby Carpenter and Tito weekdays starting at 6 or watch on demand. More Bobby, less commercials. The Fan.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, we're going to do a little guess the stats here. What is your best guess? And maybe you've already looked. Best guess on rushing yards accumulated for Adrian Peterson his freshman year at Oklahoma.
1675.
Okay. Masp to be a big year.
I was going to guess even bigger. I was going to guess 18.
You would be closer. 1925. He ran for 1,925 yards and 15 touchdowns as a true freshman at Oklahoma in 04. 5.7. He toted it 339 times. Like he was like Derrick Henry.
It was like it was the greatest freshman year ever, I believe, right?
Well, it might be. So this is what the Jeremiah Smith conversation is about. Because when you think about in my head, without looking up the stats, the first thing that came to mind, and that's why I used it in the tease, was the most anticipated sophomore season since Adrian Peterson. And Peterson ran for 1925 his freshman year at Oklahoma. He finished second in the Heisman. Matt Leinart won it that year. And he never really got close. It was 1104 as a sophomore, and then as a junior, he only played in 7 games. He had 1,012. He actually averaged close to about the yards per game as a junior, 145 yards per game as a junior, and 148 as a freshman, just 100 yards per game as a sophomore in 2005. I think of Maurice Clarett, and I think the year that he had here. I think Herschel Walker, freshman year at Georgia, when they won the national championship, and he probably should have won the Heisman. I wonder how his freshman year Georgia stats, how that compares. All right, freshman year, Herschel, 16-16. He was third in the Heisman, 5.9 a carry, 146 a game. So this is the Herschel path is the one that we're wanting Jeremiah to follow. Because as a sophomore, Herschel Walker was 1891 and 18 touchdowns. And as a junior, he won the Heisman, 1752, 16 touchdowns. He finished third, second, first in the Heisman. He was a 3-time first-team All-American at Georgia. So this is in the history of the sport, guys. That's where we are with Jeremiah Smith. That's how good the freshman year is. He is the face of college football. Absolutely the face of college football. And it's such a strange spot for a receiver. The other guys we are talking about here are running backs in a time in the sport where running backs could be meal tickets. He is going to be dependent on one of the quarterbacks getting him the ball and him able to make plays. So a massive year is expected for him, and my hunch is he will live up to all of it. One of the things he's going to have to enhance a little bit, and this has to do with him going to Big Ten Media Days and representing Ohio State, is the fact that he's going to have to be one of the leaders on this team. It's a role that I think he's more than willing to step into. Him, Sonny, Caleb were the representatives. Here's Jeremiah on their leadership.
Yeah, I feel like we got to be leaders. Me, him, and Sonny, we've been through it. We know what it's like to be in a tough moment. So, leading them guys. I feel like all the guys who got new roles coming into this year, they definitely going to be ready. The coach is going to prepare them throughout fall camp and throughout the whole season to be ready for that moment. So they definitely going to be ready for sure.
Here's Jeremiah on the hunger to win a national title with this group.
What it looked like for me, I feel like last year, that was like a mecca. All the guys who came back, that was their national championship. I feel like this year, it's definitely going to be for like me, Sonny, Caleb, Carnell Tate, all the other guys that was young last year. So I feel like that's definitely would be, if we win it this year, it's definitely going to be our.
You know, he's most often compared with Julio Jones. A recruiting guy told me that when he signed, a guy that I know from South Florida said, look, you just got Julio Jones. Well, Julio wasn't anywhere in the vicinity of this statistically in his 3 years at Alabama. Not close. 924 as a freshman, 596 as a sophomore, and then as a junior went 1133 and 7 touchdowns. Jeremiah lapped the field on that. I don't even know statistically. I wonder if one of the LSU guys, would Chase or Jefferson, have had a couple of year run there. Jamar did not play his junior year. He sat it out with COVID. But I mean, those are the type of thing. It's so hard for receivers to just stack year upon year upon year. What is a reasonable expectation for Jeremiah Smith in year 2?
So for me, it's not much more on the receiving yards. I think 1,500 yards this year. And probably, not too many more touchdowns, probably 15, 16 touchdowns. And that's just because I believe you've got a new quarterback and you also have Carnell Tate and Max Clare, who I think they're going to try to get the ball to a lot. So I think Jeremiah, it's going to be incremental improvements. I think with him, though, he's just working on things that are going to help him at the next level. That's where he's gauging his improvement.
I'm going to be confident in saying it probably won't be 15 touchdowns, but if he stacked another 1,300-yard receiving season, I could absolutely see that to everything that Baker just said. I looked up Justin Jefferson. In 2018, he had 875 yards and 6 touchdowns, and then he followed up his junior year with 1,500 yards receiving and 18 touchdowns. That was Justin Jefferson. Jamar Chase just had 313 yards his freshman year, and he had 1,700 yards his sophomore year, 20 touchdowns compared to 3 his freshman year. Then he opted out from that COVID-19 season.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting when you go. Here's the thing that I think is, you can say pretty emphatically, he's going to be targeted a lot more. He really,
by everybody,
by defense and by our quarterback. I mean, guys, he does not have last year, the most catches he had in a game was 9. He had 9 in the Oregon game. He didn't have a double-digit catch game last year. He ended up getting 5 of his 15 touchdowns in the postseason. Massive in the Tennessee game, incredible in the Oregon game, as we remember. In the Texas game, he just had 1 catch, 3 yards in the Texas game. So when you think about what's possible, the answer is a lot. And I think you will target him. I mean, wouldn't you target him a dozen times a game? Feels like you would.
If you were smart.
I mean, if you think about quarterback dropbacks and the percentage of throws that go to him, I feel like you'd want 40% of them, 35% of them going his way, and Carnell Tate's going to get 25, 30%, and then kind of split the rest up.
That's who I think is going to benefit a lot from this.
Yeah.
Is how you leave Carnell Tate open, because you just have to choose. Now, Texas had the Thorpe winner last year and a much improved secondary, probably a much better secondary than anybody in the country, certainly anybody that Ohio State faced. Maybe up until the national championship game. And so it'll be fun for the fans to see how that matchup works this year. And you will have a brand new quarterback probably just saying, bleep it, Jeremiah's down there somewhere. Because if I'm to take Ryan Day at his word, being more aggressive, that's going to be the attack against Texas. And it should.
DeBomb. You love DeBomb, Reese.
Everybody loves DeBomb.
We all
There's nobody that doesn't love that play.
We'll take a look at the Buckeye defense coming up at 10:17. Jake Trotter is in Vegas. He will join us coming up at 10:30. Between now and then, we hit a little, hey, guys, it's an hour early. Still time to get your questions in on the social or on the YouTube chat. We will answer those coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be, and if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of my favorite things, Wilson, is the look on people's faces when they see the end price for Pella windows.
Yeah, I'm always hearing, does it look like I'm wearing my money britches?
More like, I can't believe we get the Pella look and quality at these prices.
Oh, you went the other way with that. You're hearing good things. Oh, this is awkward.
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota of Columbus. Summer is the perfect time to gear up in a new truck from Germain Toyota of Columbus. Right now, drive home the 2025 Toyota Tundra with 1.99 APR for 72 months, or take command of the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, also just 1.99 APR for 72 months. Get power, performance, and unbeatable savings, all at Germain Toyota, located at 5711 Scarborough Boulevard on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road. Shop online anytime at germaintoyota.net.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Colin Man and Timmy here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Timmy?
Yeah, we got a lot of fun things going on this month, like karaoke.
And crab legs.
No, not yet. Live bands. We've got food trucks in the outdoor valet area.
Crab legs.
Oh, not yet. On select weekend days throughout the summer. Okay, now crab legs.
And all you can eat crab legs at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Join Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on us. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, crab legs.
Oh, yeah, we love crab legs.
Time for crab legs?
Okay, crab legs.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day. My AC stopped working. Your competition says it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died. We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion. Replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Big Ten Media Days continue Wednesday in Las Vegas. Minnesota, Northwestern, Oregon, Penn State, Washington, and Wisconsin are on the docket this afternoon. On Tuesday, Conference Commissioner Tony Petitti confirmed the league sent a letter to the NCAA regarding Michigan's sign-stealing scandal. Petitti would not confirm whether that letter defended the Wolverines from additional punishment. In the NFL, training camp continues today for the Bengals and Browns. Cincinnati's without the league's sack leader as Trey Hendrickson continues his camp holdout amid a contract dispute. In baseball, the Guardians beat the Orioles 6-3 last night in Cleveland. Reds dropped their third straight game, a 6-1 loss to the Nationals. Reds are going to avoid the series sweep or try to avoid the series sweep today at 12:05. You can hear that game over on ESPN Columbus. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Rates as low as 5.54% and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance your auto loan with BMI Federal Credit Union.
Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a First Friday Miracle. It's an hour early because of 20 Most Interesting this week. Let's hit it. Hey, guys.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag #HeyGuys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
All right, winner here gets a $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank. Free distillery tour and a tasting for up to 10 people. We had lunch there on Friday with the boys. They sucked down the pepperoni pizza with the hot honey. Just adored it. Home of the best blended whiskey in America. 3 years running. Located right here in town. Stop by High Bank's 3 locations, Grandview, Gahanna, Westville. Enjoy the award-winning spirits for your next happy hour. Go ahead, Reese.
All right, cool thing about the YouTube chat is I can see and read them in real time. So if it's appropriate, I can throw it out to you guys, as I will do with Ace, who asks, since the Ohio State Fair is starting today, what's each of your favorite state fair memory? Bo, obviously in Montana, but Baker and I would have plenty of years of experience at the Ohio State Fair. Ace says his is the alien spaceship ride and a classic corn dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat the classic corn dog. For some reason, the thing that jumps into my head was the State Fair tacos. There was a taco stand that was just a delight that I remember sucking down as a kid. Look, I mean, let's be real honest. The first thing that comes back, I mean, the fair, now we had the Marias County Fair and then we had the Montana State Fair. Montana State Fair was in Great Falls and then the Marias County Fair was in Shelby. They were the two closest bigger fairs for us, and by biggest term loosely. It was, can you get a chick on a Ferris wheel? That was kind of it. You know, lights go down, midway lit up, maybe hold a hand. Can I get you on a Ferris wheel? I mean, that was kind of the whole objective.
Maybe you get stuck at the top.
Who gets hurt? Who gets hurt, Beck? Everyone wins. Come on. Yeah.
My first memory of the Ohio State Fair, just remember walking around all day. And then at the end, I don't know if they even still have these at the Ohio State Fair, but they would have that little chair you sat on and the little vibrating foot massage thing. I think it was called a footsie wootsy. And how good that felt after walking around the fair all day. That was the best. And then, of course, they fry everything, right?
Yeah.
Fried Oreos, fried Snickers, all of it.
This might have been 25 years ago. The Ohio State Fair always does the butter cow. I think this year's theme is Pardon Our Dust. And it's like construction themed because this city's always under construction, button forever. I think Furby was the theme in like 99 or 2000. And I remember walking through that damn thing going, what is this state?
What are we doing?
I was like 10.
Listening to T-Bone and Tyvis this morning while I was in here, and I heard, I think Dylan say that they've got a butter display this year of the, the astronomer CEO and the girlfriend.
Oh, God.
the mistress.
I don't know if they can turn that around that quickly.
They've got a butter sculpture of that, he said.
They had Urban one year.
That's incredible.
Jeff asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, with all your travels, how do you handle, and he asks Bo, how do you handle Buddy Garrity? Are you a boarding family or have someone dog sit? He asks the same for myself and Odie. And then Baker, you don't have dogs, correct?
I do not, but my parents have had Great Danes since I was 13, and they were never a boarding family. They would always just have someone stay at the house or come over and let them out. And now that's my duty now when they go out of town is I get to go hang out with the Great Danes.
Good job out of you.
So,
what are their names?
Hank and Gus.
That's a great names for Great Danes.
They're two brothers, and they are both over 200 pounds.
That's awesome. We do a hybrid, so we typically don't board. Although when we went to Hawaii, we did, just because it was so long. That in that instance, I just felt it was safest for Buddy Garrity to be in that spot. But by and large, we do. We have a fine lady who will come over multiple times a day, and probably 6 to 8 times a day. And then we also have Gibbe, Gibbe from the Browns radio network. His daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, his daughter. His daughter 80 will come over and like twice a day go take him on walks. So that's usually what we do, is we have some sort of model of that. So it's Grand Central Station. People come when we're gone. There's 1,000 people coming in and out.
I really thought you were about to say, after producing the Browns radio network, Gibbs comes over and has to do dog duty.
He's got to take Buddy for a walk.
I love when Gibbs sends me an email, because that means Tyvis needs to do something down here, and I get to be his engineer, and that's great.
That's great.
Yeah, we're hybrid too, depending on the length of time we are gone. Because I know Odie likes to stay at home, but I also think it's important, especially in his earlier years, to have as much interaction with other dogs as possible. So getting him boarded and then getting him daycare and walks with other people, with other dogs, was super great for his development. And so if it's longer than 3 days, he's going to daycare, which he loves.
Yeah.
This is actually from Twitter. Hunter asks, "Hey guys, if you had to live in a show, would you rather live in Game of Thrones or The Last of Us?"
Is Last of Us zombies?
Yeah, mushroom zombies.
Yeah, give me the Game of Thrones.
Same.
I don't know either of these shows, so I can't. I got nothing here.
You don't, but you know of Game of Thrones.
So one's medieval. I always think of it probably like the 1200s or 1100s or something like that. The other one's just present day zombies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've evolved. We're smarter than medieval times. We got this.
I think I'd do just fine in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean, if Tyrion Lannister survived to the end, I like my chances. Dustin asks in the YouTube chat, "Hey guys, with Happy Gilmore 2 coming out, name 3 movies you'd like to see get a sequel."
Commando.
That was one of mine.
I don't know how they didn't do a sequel to Commando. I mean, it was right there, and they didn't. Stunning. I think that I'm also shocked that they didn't do a sequel to Cobra, the Sylvester Stallone movie from the 80s, which was set up. I mean, anytime you have the lead character who is for some reason sucking on a toothpick the entire movie, and at one point says, I'm where the law stops and I start," then that's a movie I need more of. Any other sequels out there that weren't done that need?
Did they ever do a Top Gun one?
The Top Gun one was unbelievable. Good job out of you. Yeah. Yes, they did. It was quite good. I don't know that I need to see a Days of Thunder redone, and I think he's going to do that. And I hope they don't do an F1 part 2. That was good on its own. Like, just let it lie.
So we want the sequel, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine are all funny movies, and the one I don't know how you would do, but my all-time favorite movie of all time is Tommy Boy. So I don't know how you do that without Chris Farley, but I love that. Wedding Crashers, I think a sequel of Wedding Crashers where they come out of retirement and crash one more wedding would be awesome.
I bet that's in the works.
I would hope so, because that would be great. And then my other one, I don't care which one, but I had 2 baseball movies. Obviously, The Sandlot was great, but Rookie of the Year or Little Big League, both of them where you could have Henry Rowan Gardner come back as a coach, or you could have the kid that owned the team and then gave it up. He could go back and run the team again in Little Big League. Either of those baseball movies would be great.
This is another Arnold one, but if you did a sequel to Total Recall, you'd have to, again, with the Commando and the Total Recall ones, you'd have to get Arnold back in his prime. Because I've seen things Arnold's done recently. I guess you could have Arnold be the mentor, like they did with Blade Runner. Yeah,
his kid was just on
White Lotus.
Maybe get him pumping some iron and see if you can thicken him up a little bit.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I'm looking just at our YouTube chat. Talladega Nights 2 from Phil. Gino says Titanic 2, Deep Blue.
I was going to do that as a joke. Like, at what point does it like register with Rose that how selfish she was, and they could have very easily both sat on it, quite easily. Like, you murdered him.
Reese, I think we got to do this one from Cardinal 99 in the YouTube chat. In honor of the great Ozzy Osbourne, who is your favorite classic rock frontman?
Ozzy's before my time. So, and since he passed yesterday, this is probably as good a time as any, but like my first introduction to Ozzy Osbourne was on The Osbournes.
Same.
So I didn't know that he sang Crazy. I knew that song, but I didn't know that that was a Sabbath song or that he sang it. I just knew, the only thing I knew about Ozzy Osbourne as a kid is that he bit the head off of a bat at a show in Iowa that he thought was a rubber bat and it was a real one, and that story went around. And so as a little kid, I was terrified of Ozzy Osbourne because I thought, my God, is this guy possessed by the devil? Like, what the hell, man? And then come to find out, you see him on that show, and it's like they're actually kind of game changers in terms of how we consume television, like a window into ultra famous people. You could make an argument that the Osbournes, the Jessica Simpson one with Nick Lachey, like they paved the way for the Kardashians and Real Housewives and all that stuff. Like a window into an ultra successful life that is just normal. And my hunch is that show holds up absolutely. My favorite is probably, it always felt like Bret Michaels had a hell of a time. I wasn't the biggest Poison guy, but it felt like he lived a hell of a run. And I remember Dom and I talking to him. He was at the Health and Fitness Expo when we did that for Channel 10. And one of us said something to him like, man, don't you ever get tired of like interacting with so many of this? He goes, never. This is my audience. Without them, I'm nothing. And I thought, good job out of you. That's impressive. Axl Rose was probably, from my youth, the one that jumps out the most.
So for me, it is Steven Tyler. I remember I was a huge fan of the band Fuel. So back when we had Polaris Amphitheater, Germain Amphitheater, I went to see Fuel open up for Aerosmith. And Aerosmith and Steven Tyler were so good that night, I don't even remember Fuel. And I was an Aerosmith fan ever since.
Yeah.
So my first show was Kiss and Aerosmith at the Polaris Amphitheater. So I'm going to go with Gene Simmons as the first rock frontman that I ever was like, wow, he's so cool. And then my most recent, Scott Stapp.
That's right. Here's one from Tyler on the social. Hey, guys, heading to the beach soon. So my question is, at what age do I ditch the flowered board shorts and go with Old Man Nautica swim trunks? Don't want to be the old guy trying to be hard at the beach. Tyler, you can go to trunks now. Go to trunks now. Just go with a solid colored trunk. You're right. You don't want to be noticed anymore. I think, by the way, all the kids are in trunks now. They're not in board shorts anymore. I disagree.
Wear the flowered as long as you can. Wear wild, crazy swim trunks. Who cares? Totally disagree.
I use both because I'm not going to wear. I don't like to wear the same swim trunks 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Like I'll wear one and then I'll hang it and then I'll wear it the next 2 days later.
There you go.
All right, we got to pick a winner.
Who do you guys like on there?
Who asked the question about the front man?
I think that was Cardinal 99.
That works for me.
Anytime you can think about seeing Kiss as like a 10-year-old, that's a win.
We also
good show.
Yeah, so good job out of you. So he's going to get the and we got to eulogize Oz a little bit, so that all of those things win. So congratulations on that. You get the $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank. This Buckeye defense, how ferocious will it be under Matt Patricia? You'll hear from two of the guys in charge of making sure that it is. Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's the biggest jewelry event of the season this week at Diamonds Direct. Shop now through Sunday and take an extra 20% off engagement rings, earrings, bracelets, and all fashion jewelry. But don't miss the main event this weekend, July 25th through 27th. For 3 days only, top designers will be in store with exclusive collections you can only find at Diamonds Direct. Shop now to save and join us this weekend for the full VIP experience. Hurry, this limited time offer ends Sunday. Visit DiamondsDirect.com for more details and to book your appointment.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
two teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. Give Baths R Us a ring. Call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to catch your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Buckeye football training camp is coming. Catch live editions of Morning Juice, T-Bone, and Tyvis and Bishop and Friends starting July 31st. They'll be close enough to smell the jock straps. Live on The Fan and YouTube. Yay football.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio is your Medicaid plan for more benefits, more rewards. We know that good health means more than just seeing a doctor when you're sick. Eligible members can receive extras like home-delivered meals and family essentials, like baby carriers and kids' school supplies. Members can even earn rewards for playing mobile health trivia games. Learn more at AmeriHealthCaritasoh.com and call the Ohio Medicaid Consumer Hotline at 1-800-324-8680 to choose AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see afternoon temperatures in the low 90s with plenty of sunshine, so don't forget the sunscreen. For tonight, mostly clear with lows overnight into the 70s with humidity building back in for Thursday. We do have a heat alert in place as our afternoon highs will be in the mid to low 90s, but the feels like, yet again, getting up into the triple digits, so make sure you're keeping yourself and your family safe. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and we are proudly sponsored and brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. You guys aware of that guy? He's I can't think of the name of the social account, but he's got a mustache, and he's the guy who like makes fun of the people who cook things at home, like Chef Reactions or something like that.
I think that is the account, Chef Reactions, yeah.
Is that he's like from Minneapolis, and like people make the most absurd things, like they make these giant casseroles with 66 things that blocks
and leave the sticker in the like metal tin.
He just crushes them. So he's one of my favorite dudes. And I just was in the break on one of the social channels. I saw a video that he was breaking down of someone who looked like they were making some sort of cherry croissant dessert thing. And in the video, she had a mechanism that would take the pit out of a cherry. I didn't know that this existed. But this feels like a game changer for the cherry industry. And upon seeing it, what did I do? Straight to Amazon. I can have one this afternoon. That's probably the best example of how life has changed. Something I didn't know existed, that I didn't know that I needed, and within 30 seconds ordered, and it will be at the house by this afternoon. I don't know if that's all good or not or bad. I think it's really good for the cherry business. I think it's a game changer for the cherry as a fruit. Kind of the only negative is you have to deal with it that way. And if you have kids, it's brutal watching them try to suck down some cherries. It's a very healthy fruit. Great antioxidants. Now all of a sudden, I got a pitter that's going to be here by this afternoon. You can suck down all the cherries you want.
It's funny when you talk about the chef reactions guy who just went from a cook that liked to roast people online to somebody with 2 million followers on Instagram. He probably doesn't work that restaurant job anymore. And Major League Baseball flew him out to the All-Star game so he could tell everybody that he became a... Because he was asking his followers what MLB team should he follow. And now he's a Tigers fan.
Really? Isn't he from Minneapolis or something?
I want to say I was thinking Wisconsin, but it also could be Minnesota.
He's a Wolves fan. I remember he was all jacked up for the Wolves in the playoffs.
Like he had a lot of his stuff had T-Wolves hats on, and I'm like, okay, that seems.
Yeah.
But the idea that he can do that in the span of a year is crazy. Like where your life can go from one extreme to the absolute other.
You're exactly right, and I suppose all of that is is our life experience now, right? Everything that I just explained, that guy's rise from like a guy who popped up on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and you find him funny because somebody's trying to make like a chili tuna casserole, and then with 6 blocks of Velveeta cheese, and then all of a sudden now I find out that there's a cherry pitter and I can have it by this afternoon.
And that's why these influencers get endorsement deals.
It worked.
It works.
I just bought one. And he wasn't even trying to sling it. He was just making fun of whatever dessert she was making with the pre-made croissants from Costco and cherries. But it all works, man. It all works. This Buckeye defense was very good a year ago. Everybody knows the drama that followed the season in terms of Jim Knowles. He is now at Penn State. Matt Patricia, which kind of came out of nowhere, is the replacement. He's been very impressive this offseason. He's been very impressive to the guys who matters at most, which are the guys he's going to be coaching, and Caleb Downs, chief among them, the unanimous first-team All-American, with the role change, if any, under Patricia for him.
No, I feel like most of the time defense is defense. So at the end of the day, you're in every position on the field every time at safety. So I feel like I'll be multiple like I was last year, and the ability to move around is something that I take pride in. But a lot of the same stuff we did last year, I'm expecting a lot of the same stuff.
Reese, you remember this. It was you and me and Tyvis a lot in football season, certainly on Mondays and Fridays and that. And one of the things I remember, we kind of had that eureka moment of, I can't remember exactly the means with which I was able to view the All-22s, but it was around, it might have been right after the Oregon game. I was able to watch the All-22 stuff.
Don't you know a guy?
Sometimes I do, yeah. So I was able to watch the All-22 stuff. And with that came an entirely different appreciation of what Caleb Downs does. Because I thought last year what you missed on the television view of it, unless you're in the stadium or in the press box or able to watch the All-22, you're like, gosh, where's the picks? Is he going to get a pick six? Is he going to do this? Where's the sacks? Where's this? But then you watch the All-22 and you're like, oh my God, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. And I believe he's the highest graded returning player via PFF in college football. I think he's the highest graded one that's returning. So for all of the talk about Jeremiah, the two best players on the college football game are Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs. They're 1 and 1A. Jeremiah's a 98. Caleb Downs is starting the year as a 96. The Patricia conversation is a fascinating one because obviously the lieutenants that he has under him are elite kind of across the board. But there are massive guys who have to be replaced, especially up front. So what does that look like under Patricia? And will there be a better marriage of all three levels of the defense than what we've seen in the past couple of years? that part will be interesting to me as well. I think he's going to be pretty malleable with what they do. I'm guessing he's going to simplify it, and I think they're going to be able to move and adjust based on what teams give them on a week-to-week basis. But a lot of new faces here, but you've got guys like Caleb and Sonny who are as good as anybody in the game, and I don't think anybody thought Sonny would be back. That he would be back for this season. I think most people thought he'd go pro. He didn't, which is an incredible blessing. But this defense will go where those guys take them, and they got leaders at every level.
And they got dudes that see ball, get ball, right? CJ Hicks will transition to the defensive line. You'll have Sonny. You'll have Caleb. You saw the college football playoff run that Ohio State went on, what kind of a missile Caleb Downs was. I mean, you got to see it against Texas. You to see it against, the idea that they can keep this simple, and then as the season goes on, they can, if they need to, make it a little bit more complicated. I have no doubt in my mind that Patricia, as the season goes on, will start to dial up more and more complex blitzes that are going to give teams fits. And I don't know if this is petty from me, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Matt Patricia maybe not one-up Jim Knowles, but peacock a little bit against the Nittany Lions on November 1st.
Oh, man. Sometimes you forget he's there. I hadn't thought about it until I just started talking. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Remember all that?
That will be an interesting game week, won't it? When Ohio State takes on Penn State, because we think both of them are going to be two of the best teams in the country, especially by that time. That will be really interesting. I'm super excited. And, we've had the same guys basically on defense for a while now. Jack's been here for a long time. JTT, Cody Simon, Jordan Hancock, Denzel Burke. They played a ton of football for Ohio State, and it sucks to lose those guys. But I'm excited to see a lot of Kenyatta Jackson and see what he does at defensive end, because we've heard so much about him. To see CJ Hicks in a new role, to see Arvell Reese, who we got to see glimpses of last year, see Jermaine Matthews be a full-time starter, some of those young guys in the secondary. I don't know if the defense is going to be good this year as it was last year. That's a tough thing to ask with 8 new starters and a new defensive coordinator. But I think this defense is going to be pretty exciting, and this might possibly, they may not be as good, but they may be a more explosive defense this year.
Yeah, they got some game wreckers. Yeah, and on special teams early especially, pay attention for Riley Pettijohn and Peyton Pierce and Devin Sanchez. I mean, those are some names of dudes.
Aaron Scott.
Dudes. Absolutely. Yeah. So there's a lot of those guys out there that you're going to be hearing from in the 2 deep, but also on special teams. Jake Trotter's out in Las Vegas. He joins us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Chad.
Hi, I'm Chad. I've been taking the low T treatment at Tri-State Men's Health for a little under a year now. So I was really just struggling with finding the energy to accomplish the things I wanted to do every day. By the end of the workday, I was very drained and tired and found it hard to concentrate and get my job done, and was looking for something to kind of get that edge back. Once I started taking the treatment, I felt probably within the first 2 to 3 weeks more energy. And the thing that really I noticed right away was sleeping. Now I get a solid 8 hours. I'm going on vacation. I'm enjoying myself. So men out there, if you're struggling with any of the symptoms I was, low energy, brain fog, lack of sleep, I would highly recommend you call Tri-State Men's Health. You won't regret it.
Thanks, Chad. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
1-800-GOT-JUNK does 2 things differently.
We repurpose a lot of the junk we haul away,
so the donatables get donated to a family that needs them, and the recyclables get recycled.
Your neighbors are happy, and the planet is healthy.
What's number 2?
We have enough trucks that we can come the day you call us.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is the world's largest junk removal service.
And that's good for your neighbors, and for the planet.
And for you, because we can come the day you call us.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Our customers are wonderful to work with. They're intelligent, they've done their research, they like what they see, and that, I think, is the biggest reason why they come to us, because they know that they're going to get an excellent window, excellent installation, and excellent service. We're good at what we do.
Visit Rosati Windows and get 35% off all windows and doors by July 31st.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Let me introduce you to a man with a magnificent salt and pepper beard. A man who's currently roasting lamb on a spit. A man who runs the Rocky River Greek Festival. That man is Jake Trotter.
And he joins on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Before we get into all the football, were you in Browning, Montana last week?
I was.
So, yeah, you're an hour north of where I grew up.
No way. Where'd you grow up?
Yeah. Near Great Falls, near Choteau, Montana.
I was in Great
Right on the
Falls.
Rocky Mountain front.
Wow, what an incredible place to grow up, though. How did I not know that?
I don't know. So what I always say, because they were in our Browning wasn't, but Hart Butte was. Browning was a little bit of a bigger school than the one I grew up, which is probably crazy for you to wrap your head around. But yeah, so that's the one I reference all the time is the Blackfeet Reservation, which is where you were volunteering last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was in Hart Butte actually a lot. We flew into Seattle, took a train to Whitefish, Montana. Have you been to Whitefish before? Obviously,
I was born in Kalispell, went to Whitefish all the time. Yeah.
Whitefish is one of the coolest places I think I've ever been to. Like you could film a movie there by the train station. Yep. Incredible little downtown. And it looks like it basically feels like you're on the set of Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
When you're there.
Yes.
And then, I spent a lot of time in Kalispell. The airport looks like a Cabela's, basically. And the drive through Glacier National Park, which, by the way, what an unbelievable place that is. Mm-hmm. Down to Browning is like, I can't even believe this place exists in the world. So I was there for a week. Wow, we got more to talk about. But we do. I had to make there's limited supplies in Browning. Mm-hmm. I'll put it that way. So I had to make a drive to Great Falls, your hometown, to find a grocery store.
Yeah, I always say to people, like, you have no idea. Like, people, like the Native American experience a lot of time is through, like, the Yellowstone experience. And I'm like, that ain't Browning. That's not at all. No. Like, the poverty level is so stupefying there. It's really sad.
You can't believe that in America in 2025, people live the way that they do on some of these reservations.
It's crazy. Absolutely is. All right. Mm-hmm. From that to Las Vegas, I was listening to Tony Petitti yesterday, and I did this off the top of the show, which would have been very early for you, so I'm not going to hold it against you didn't listen. I don't feel like Tony Petitti represents Ohio State at all. I don't.
Why do you say that?
I don't think 4 automatic bids applies to Ohio State. I don't think Ryan Day wants to play another high leveraged game in November. I think Ohio State does plenty of that. To me, it feels like he is. I mean, at one point he talked about how we got to get conditioned to 8-4 teams making the playoff. That's not an Ohio State problem. To me, it felt like somebody who was the commissioner of the Big 12. It just did not apply to Ohio State in any way, or maybe a commissioner for the rest of this league that isn't Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, USC, and maybe even Penn State.
The one thing I laughed about, though, was Petitti was up there and he was lamenting the slowness of the NCAA infractions process, which we all agree is ridiculous, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, the Michigan situation's still ongoing and should be wrapped up fairly soon. But the fact that 2 years later, we're still kind of waiting for a finality to it is crazy. But I did laugh at the irony of, I feel like we've been talking about the playoff expansion for 5 years at this point, and we're not any closer to a solution. So it ain't just the NCAA. It is like all parts of college football and college sports. The part that I think is kind of bizarre, and Ryan didn't. He didn't say he was against it, but I can't imagine that Ohio State wants to play a play-in game to get in the playoff. I mean, what in the world? Do you really want to go play Iowa before the playoff when you're 11-1 or 12-1? I mean, it makes no sense if you're Ohio State. So, I think the current format benefits Ohio State pretty well. Mm-hmm. And, the one thing Day did say is, if we don't go to a format where the Big Ten gets 4 automatic teams, then we're not going to play Texas. Because what is the point? Because we're going to finish in the top 4 in the Big Ten, and if this just comes down to a committee and, trying to measure up in equitable scheduling formats, then, we're not even going to bother with it. So I think the other side of that, though, the more I thought about it is, okay, it's really cool that Ohio State and Texas are playing. Is it going to be that cool if there are absolutely zero stakes in the game? It's just going to be like a preseason NFL game. I know.
Yeah.
We are diminishing the regular season in ways that I think are unintended by the direction that we are going.
There's no question that this goes to what I was talking about in the first hour. The things that mattered most to us are, the things you love most about college football, the regionality. Well, we've lost that. The other thing that we absolutely loved about it was this notion of, that goes back to the regionality. My conference as good as yours, or they're better. The CD underbelly I loved, right? Who's cheating, who's not. Now it's all above board. None of that matters. And then the third thing that you loved was every game matters. And now all of a sudden you're trying to tell me that a 3 versus 6 play-in game, and if the 3 loses, they still should get into the playoff? What are we doing, man? And I know it's just about satisfying his television partners, but boy, I think it's a very slippery slope. And to your point, I don't think it applies to Ohio State at all. Ohio State, and we have 2014 as proof of this, Ohio State is always going to get the benefit of the doubt. Always. You could argue both Baylor and TCU should have got in over Ohio State in 14, but who did they go with? Buckeyes. They're not. It's not. This is not. These are not Ohio State problems. And listening to him, I'm like, he doesn't represent Ohio State really at all.
Yeah, it does feel like they're trying to throw a bone to the Illinois of the world.
Sure.
The way that they're going about this, which, all right, fine, but they're not the ones that carry the Big Ten. They're not the ones that make the money. And I got into a debate with May on the air here a couple of weeks ago. I don't like us preordaining playoff spots. It feels weird to me to say that, if you're good enough, you're good enough. You're Ohio State. If you're good enough, you're going to be in. And that's why, all these machinations, it just doesn't feel like it's about Ohio State. I mean, imagine, Bo, we said, all right, the AFC North is getting 3 teams in this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just not the way that football should be handled. And are the schedules equal in the NFL? They never are, and they've never been in college football. It's just kind of part of the game. So, this idea, and Tony was saying it yesterday, this idea that if you're 8-4, he said this.
He said it.
If you're 8-4, you deserve to go to the playoff. I was like, what is he talking about? Who is 8-4 that deserves to be in the playoff? Are we trying to orchestrate more playoff blowouts?
Yeah. I'm with you on all of it. And the other thing that he failed to mention when he was doing that comparison is everything he did was a professional comparison. Professional sports in this country has salary caps, they have revenue share, they have contracts, they have a draft. And they're quick to talk about all of that, and he's quick to use the pro comparison, but we don't want any of that for these guys. So, none of it. I just thought it was just silly. You wrote a great piece today about Ohio State and the quarterback. It's up at ESPN.com. And Ryan and kind of his approach to this. What did you glean from Coach Day in terms of how he's going to go about this process of naming a starter and how perhaps he's going to treat this room going forward?
Well, I think number one, my sense is that this is closer than either people realize or people expected. Mm-hmm. And I think Lincoln, impressed in the spring. He's making this really difficult. And, the other part of it, and Dave said this before, he's not going to decide when to name a starter. The locker room is going to decide. Mm-hmm. They're going to know who the guy is. And that's when the decision is going to be made. It's just, at that point, it's going to be mere formality when they announce it. So I think this is a legit quarterback competition. Sometimes they say there's a quarterback competition and there's really not. Like, I wonder if there's going to actually be one at Michigan, for example. I think it's just a matter of time before Bryce Underwood, is the starter. Whether that lingers into the season or they just do it in August. But with Ohio State, I think it's going to be really interesting. I also think that whoever they pick, they got to stick with that guy early on. Because you can't name a starter and then, he struggles against Texas, which might be the best team in the country. And then, now you're in this, months long quarterback competition that I don't think is going to serve anybody very well. But they're in a tricky situation because I think both guys are going to make this interesting. And, it could really go down to the wire. Like you talk to some of these players and, I don't think they know right now who should be the quarterback. And that should tell you how close it is.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I think those of us here locally, and obviously you're in this part of the country. I think most of us are on point with that. And Ryan's done this every year, so it's just what's his timetable on it? And I do think that what you said is an important point, that they do want whoever's starting the Texas game to be 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And so there has to be a full belief in that. Did he give you any – I'll get you out of here on this one. Did you have any feel on a timetable for him on this, or was he pretty vague?
The quarterback competition?
Yeah.
He was vague. And, again, I think that they are waiting to see who emerges. And, the summer, to a lesser degree, is part of the equation. But I think this is there for the taking. And I think these first 3 weeks of preseason ball are going to determine which way this leans. But I think right now I legitimately think it's an open competition. I think some people probably would want it to be Sayin just because the pedigree, but Lincoln is an incredible athlete. Who he reminds me of is Sam Bradford in that he's got this. He's a great golfer, baseball star, all whatever basketball can dunk. I mean, that's the way Sam Bradford was coming out of Putnam City North High School. And Sam Bradford was like a 3-star guy. I mean, nobody really thought of him as a, high-level quarterback recruit. But all the things that he can do just kind of reminds me of Sam. And I think that, like, those type of guys, that – have that kind of natural ability in whatever sport they're playing. That's kind of intriguing. So I think this is it's a real battle. I would not be shocked. Like August 15th, we're like, all right, who's the starter? We don't know yet.
I think you have the right read on that, my friend, as is typically the case. I'm glad you enjoyed the home state, and it's great talking to you as always, buddy.
Let's talk more Montana off the air. I'm curious to hear more.
Anytime. I'll tell you about how I needed a police escort to leave Hart Butte, Montana my senior year. Well, that was a fun time, to say the least. There he goes. Okay. Jake Trotter joining us. You as well on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
The Dublin Irish Festival, August 1st through 3rd in Dublin, Ohio. Voted 2025 USA Today Best Cultural Festival in the nation. This year promises 3 incredible days of Irish music, dance, food, and fun. Get your tickets at DublinIrishFestival.org.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
At Dick's Sporting Goods, we have always believed sport has the power to change lives. Community happens here. Change happens here. Sport happens here. Introducing the all-new Dick's House of Sport, bringing new experiences, new services, and unrivaled selection from the top brands to a new place Polaris can call home. Featuring a rock wall, a HitTrax multi-sport cage, and 3 golf hitting bays. Dick's House of Sport at Polaris Fashion Place. Grand opening celebration August 15th through August 17th.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and dropping just 25 pounds with the Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. That's about a half a club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards on every swing, but from experience, lose 75 pounds like I did, and now we're talking next level distance, consistency, and even mood, especially on the back nine. And actually, every pound you drop takes 4 pounds of pressure off your knees. So I lost 300 pounds of pressure off of mine. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
The sun is out and the savings are on at Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Take up to $7,000 off MSRP on any new Kia EV in stock, or get up to $3,000 off MSRP plus 0% financing for 60 months. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Largest Kia dealer based on current ground stock at all 4 Coughlin Kia locations. 0% for 60 months equals $1,667 for 1,000 finance. All manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. Dealer financing required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 7/31/25.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Are your leaky windows costing you money? Yes, they are. Right now, when you call my guys at Universal Windows Direct, you get payments as low as $99 a month or 12 months with no payments and no interest. Seriously, upgrade your home now and relax until next year. Call now and get a free in-home window and energy assessment. Choose the payment plan that's right for you. 614-502-5220 or go to universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
It's the biggest jewelry event of the season this week at Diamonds Direct. Shop now through Sunday and take an extra 20% off engagement rings, earrings, bracelets, and all fashion jewelry. But don't miss the main event this weekend, July 25th through 27th. For 3 days only, top designers will be in store with exclusive collections you can only find at Diamonds Direct. Shop now to save and join us this weekend for the full VIP experience. Hurry, this limited time offer ends Sunday. Visit diamondsdirect.com for more details and to book your appointment.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a first Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Let's start with some Bengals training camp news, but not the training camp news that I had in the show sheet. Zach Taylor addressed reporters this morning. He says Joe Burrow will play more this preseason than he ever has before. Thing or not a thing?
I assume that's what Joe wants. This is a reaction, I'm assuming, to the way that they can't get going as season starts. So they open. Do they go Division 2? I know the Browns go Bengals, Ravens to start. So I know that they start in the division. Is their second game of okay, so their start isn't quite as ambitious as the Browns start, but they're at Browns, Jags at home, at Vikings, at Broncos, Lions at home, at Packers, Steelers. So that's a 7-game stretch of one. I mean, the Browns will be whatever the Browns may be, but the 6 teams that follow all have playoff aspirations. And you say to yourself, like, you can't start slow. So this seems to be a reaction to me to that they've started slow the last few years, and that's why they missed the playoffs last year. It's inexplicable losing at home to New England last year to start the year.
Yeah, I think that's where it's a thing, right? Is the Bengals have had some terribly slow starts the past few years. last year, point in case, with that New England loss. So I think it's something where they know it's their offense that is going to carry them. So if they can get that offense clicking right out of the gate, that's a good thing. Also, maybe this is something to get people talking about the Bengals in another way other than Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart, because that's what it did with us. So.
Yeah, speaking of Trey Hendrickson, he posted a picture yesterday implying he was in Florida, which is not Cincinnati, where the Bengals are holding their training camp. Later in the day, Tuesday, I should say, Hendrickson confirmed to The Athletic that he's training in Jacksonville. Okay. He told Diana Rossini, quote, "I spent the last 30 days at my home in Cincinnati, which is across the river from the stadium. We were given 2 offers within a 24-hour period, and neither of them had the guarantees we were looking for. I wanted to be there, but there's no way I would be able to sit there in the house and hear the practice whistles while also being a distraction. I don't want to ruin the other 10 guys' 2025 season on my contract language." He adds, quote, "I was more than willing to take less in some ways in order to make a deal work to accommodate the presented needs. I verbalized to the Bengals that I wanted to be a captain, to lead young defense. And once rookie Shamar Stewart gets back to camp, I want to pass along the knowledge that I have, just like Cam Jordan once did for me. As I see it, Shamar and I are not competitors, we're teammates. I'm excited to go to work with him when the time comes." End quote. Thing or not a thing?
I mean, this is it's a very public negotiation. So we heard Duke Tobin and we heard Mike Brown talk about this over Turtle Soup, and now you got Trey talking about this with Diana Rossini. I guess by definition of thing or not a thing, I don't think any of this is a thing yet. We're so far away. It's July 23rd. They just had a practice today. I just think we're so far away from it that it's not a thing yet. I do think that if you are looking for a winner in the public relations world, Trey's going to win every time and get the benefit of the doubt every time, because the Bengals historically, this is what they do, are these type of things. Even in an off season that has them sign Higgins and Chase a year after getting Burrow done. So this is a different Bengals, but they're still kind of being judged by what they used to be. So I think he'll win in those things. But I think all of this is going to end up being much ado about not much.
So you're right, Bo. This isn't a thing just yet. This is like the precursor to the thing. I just wonder who's going to blink first in this. And I will also say, I think Trey Hendrickson should get paid. I think when people talked about his age and whatnot, that was all ridiculous. His production the past 5 years has been right there on par with Miles and TJ, and a lot of people just say that he's not the player that those two are, and I will agree in the fact that I think TJ Watt's the best defender in the league, but Trey is right there. If he's behind those guys, it's just a notch below. However, don't say I wanted to be there. Like, if you wanted to be there, you would, because it sounds like the Bengals are offering the money. It's just not the guarantees and all that, and I get that, and it's more complicated than that, and it's not just black and white. But if you wanted to be there, you would get this done and be there.
Yeah.
At Big Ten Media Days yesterday, Indiana's head coach Curt Cignetti was asked about their canceled series with Virginia. Mr. Cignetti took a shot at the SEC in explaining why that series was called off.
Here's the bottom line, okay? We picked up an extra home game. And we play 9 conference games. You know, the 2 best conferences in college football, any football guy that's objective will tell you, is the Big Ten and the SEC. All right? 12 of the 16 SEC teams play 3 G5 or an FCS game. 12 of those teams play 36 games, 29 G5 games, and 7 FCS games, and 1 less conference game. All right? So we figured we'd just adopt SEC scheduling philosophy. You know, some people don't like it. I'm more focused in on those 9 conference games.
Thing or not a thing?
Oh, man. I mean, that's an hour. We can do an hour on that, on what he just did right there. I mean, quite honestly, you could do an hour on that. Tony Petitti is his commissioner. That's who he's his commissioner. He's not Ryan Day's. He's not Michigan's. He's not USC. He's not Oregon. He's not Penn State. He's that guy's commissioner who came up with a Pepe Sylvia word salad to justify not playing Virginia and playing another clown team. Okay? That's what he just did right there. Stop it. Stop it.
So I think this is a thing on so many levels, Bo. I know you don't love Cignetti. I love him. I think him and Bielema in this conference are great. The problem is Cignetti's like Conor McGregor. It's awesome when you do it and you back it up and you have a good year like Indiana did last year. But if you keep doing this after 3 or 4 losing seasons, people are going to ignore you, and it's going to you're going to be on your way to the next job or whatnot. But if Indiana's going to continue to play at a decently high level, this is great for the Big Ten. Although,
I agree.
You want to change your perception, you should have kept the Virginia game on the schedule. Played it.
Of course. Of course you should have. Of course you should have kept them on the schedule. Absolutely, you should have. All right, we'll do 20 most interesting programs. We are in the Big Ten footprint. Yes, Los Angeles, the Big Ten footprint. What was year one like in Westwood? And they got Nico. What does that mean for year 2 in the Big Ten for Deshaun Foster? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We're in L.A.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota of Columbus. Summer is the perfect time to gear up in a new truck from Germain Toyota of Columbus. Right now, drive home the 2025 Toyota Tundra with 1.99 APR for 72 months, or take command of the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, also just 1.99 APR for 72 months. Get power, performance, and unbeatable savings, all at Germain Toyota, located at 5711 Scarborough Boulevard on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road. Shop online anytime at germaintoyota.net.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Get an Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. You know, as much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get an Eco.
Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get an Eco.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get an Eco.
We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get an Eco.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get an Eco.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.44%, APR 6.47% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where did I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $749.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Reds are in our nation's capital looking to put a halt to a 3-game slide and a series sweep to the Nationals. They'll do some day baseball in D.C. First pitch between the Reds and Nats is 12:05. Michael Soroka will oppose Nick Lodolo for Cincinnati. You can hear that game over on ESPN Columbus. Reds are back home Thursday hosting the Rays before a weekend series against the L.A. Dodgers. As for the Guardians, Cleveland's on a 3-game winning streak and will host the Orioles tonight at 6:40. Guardians are back to 500 at 50-50 thanks to last night's 6-3 win at Progressive. In the NFL, training camp continues today for the Browns and the Bengals. Cincinnati's Zach Taylor told reporters this morning that Joe Burrow will play even more in the preseason than he ever has. Bengals begin preseason play Thursday, August 7th against the Philadelphia Eagles. This update is sponsored by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, before we do 20 Most Interesting, I got this from the legendary Snagglepuss on social. I feel like you guys are tiptoeing around. It's time to go independent. I got to say, I'm here for it. If an independent Notre Dame gets a seat at the table, we can take a seat. Even so far, hey guys, it doesn't matter to me, but is it time to go independent? I want to be, just to be clear on this, I do not think that there's any way that Tony Petitti is representing Ohio State's best interest. And I do say, and it's anyone who listens regularly knows this, I do think Ohio State has carried way too much water for this league for way too long. And those two things feel like they're coming to a head. I do not want Ohio State or think that they should be independent. I think when you think of the non-revenue and everything else, and there's just a lot of tradition still in the Big Ten, although it's an awkward conference now with the 4 teams out west, that I don't want to totally get rid of all of that. But I do think that Ohio State should be very chesty in this next media negotiations and say, these are the things that we want, and we're going to get what we want. And I hope that Ohio State takes that tone. So that's the way I'd thread the needle, not, hey, we're going to take our ball and leave. But the one thing I think we can all agree on is the current leadership in the Big Ten is not a leadership that is representative of Ohio State ideals or fans base thoughts or anything of the like.
And I do think a successful Ohio State's that tide that raises all ships. Mm-hmm. Like, I think everybody, and including the team we're about to talk about, which is kind of interesting how it worked out. We're talking about this particular school on this particular day after day one of Big Ten Media Days, because a successful Ohio State, I think, is good for everybody in the Big Ten.
In fairness to Tony Petitti on this, his job isn't to represent Ohio State. It's to represent the Big Ten, and Ohio State is the main piece in that and a major cog, but Ohio State also doesn't need him. Ohio State's going to survive on their own regardless, as we've talked about in all this, like 16 playoff, it doesn't matter what the model is. Ohio State is in a 16-team playoff. pretty much every year for the past 50 years, 75 years, whatever it is. So Ohio State's going to be fine regardless of what Tony Petitti does. So, I mean, in his defense, he kind of is doing his job. It just sucks when you're like, well, this doesn't help Ohio State at all.
Well, he needs to advocate for Ohio State in the sense of the new television deal. I mean, we've carried the weight for noon for a long time, and I think we're all kind of sick of that. So I think we're all kind of sick of every big game on campus has to be a noon game forever. I think we're a little tired of that. So he does need to advocate and fight for, and it's not just Ohio State. It's Michigan, it's Oregon, USC, Penn State. There's several that are like-minded, and I feel like he spends most of his time worrying about, like, your boy Cignetti. That's kind of where his operation is worried about that. By the way, what the hell Cignetti worried about? He got in. He didn't get left out. We could all be complaining if he got left out. He got in. You were in the playoff. This is one of those teams that we're going to do right now on 20 Most Interesting, that this was about getting USC. And they took UCLA along for the ride. How did it go in year one? Hit it, 20 Most Interesting.
There are millions of college football teams around the world, but only a handful of them made our cut. Bishop and Friends present the 20 Most Interesting College Football Programs.
Look, I get it. I'm not sure anybody at UCLA thinks UCLA is interesting. Fair. It's fair. They're only in this league because USC needed a dance partner. I think if 5-10 years from now, we're going to look back on the expansion West and go, wait a second. The first two teams in were USC and UCLA, and Oregon had to take a discount. Washington had to take a discount, but UCLA got to come in full freight. They did because USC needed a dance partner, and it was at times cumbersome with the California university system and trying to parlay it into Cal and so forth and so on. UCLA comes in; they go 5-7 in year one. Deshaun Foster is your head coach. He is in his second season at UCLA as he succeeded Chip Kelly, who came here and is now at the Raiders. Their offseason, and the reason that they are one of the most interesting is because they are the team that landed Nico Amalieva. And what comes with that? And the one thing that I would say, watching him play here in the shoe against that Ohio State defense, is I will never question that kid's toughness. I'll question the advice that he got from potentially adults. I think that's fair to question. It's strange that he's here. It felt like he's here at discount, but he is here. He's damn tough. Based on what I saw on the field against Ohio State in that playoff game, he's the type of quarterback that you'd want at the front of a program. And depending on if this is a 1-year or a 2-year situation for him, I think he has 2 years of eligibility left, but he'd be pro eligible after this year if he's good enough. I think it could be someone that you rally behind a little bit. Their schedule is pretty ambitious again this year. They play Penn State, they play Nebraska. Those games are at home. They are here in the middle of November. And then they close against USC. Their non-conference play is they have Utah in the non-conference. They have UNLV, and they have New Mexico. UNLV, of course, Dan Mullen, the coach at UNLV now. When I think of UCLA football at its best, I think of Cade McNown, and I think of that early 2000s era where they spun it around a lot. They had always had receivers, usually had a good back. Deshaun was one of those good backs. They have a lot of things that are going against them, though, now. Their stadium is a long way from their campus. It is iconic, but it's a long way from their campus. And now they are just on this island out west. If it's possible to have program momentum there, it feels like maybe they have it now. But don't sleep on him either. Remember, Chip Kelly was able to get Dante Moore to go to UCLA out of high school. So there is money there. There is an appeal there. The uniforms, the branding, all of that stuff works. It just feels like if there's ever a chance for them to have program momentum, it is right now. And it's been a while.
And that was of the four newest additions, it's the one that made the least sense. Because they're just not competitive in football, which is the sport that makes the money. But the competitive as any team in basketball. Mm-hmm. And, Mick Cronin, their head coach now, which I was looking up just UCLA yesterday because I was like, what the hell makes them interesting outside of getting Nico Amalieva, being the one team that was like, not really interested in UCLA football, but if you're going to take USC, you kind of have to take their rival. but a team that if they can get themselves to respectability, if they can use the transfer portal and get a bunch of, I mean, this can be Indiana of the West, where they take cast-offs, 3, 4, 5-star guys, Nico Malieva, and make something of them. That's a team that can mess around a couple of years and at the very least end USC season or end Notre Dame season or end a season for a team with serious championship aspirations. Be like, I don't know, what Oklahoma was to Alabama last year.
Bo, I feel like as I'm looking into UCLA for this, I feel like I remember them more fondly than I should because I've heard the stories of the 70s teams and they took a couple things away from Ohio State. And I, too, remember the Cade McNown teams and Maurice Jones-Drew and USC, UCLA was always such a big rivalry. And you always saw that on national TV before everything went to cable and all the games were on TV. That was one you always saw. I feel like in my head, I feel like UCLA is a better program historically than it actually is.
Yeah, I think that's probably because the uniforms are beautiful. And maybe it could be. Like the look of them looks pretty good. And they've had some moments. I mean, they had Trey Aikman in the late 80s where they had a run. They had the McNown years where they were in the mix. It seems like when Bob Toledo was there, they were pretty good for most of the time he was there. They've had a bunch of different coaches. I mean, Neuheis was there. Carl Doral was there. They had Chip there for a while.
Dick Vermeil.
I mean, they've had a lot of different guys through the mix. I mean, they win at a 60% clip all time. So, that this isn't Indiana in terms of historically, in terms of where they're at. They're better than that. They've won 17 Pac-10 championships, Pac-12 championships. So historically, they have some of it. Martin Germond is their athletic director, and he was a guy who was right at the feet of Gene as felt like potentially a successor. I mean, Gene loved him. He's the athletic director there and probably a big reason they got this done. They have things that they can sell. It's just going to come down to, is their alumni base locked in on this, or will they do what Kentucky did? I don't know if you saw this earlier this week. Kentucky said with their money, their allocation, that they're giving the majority of it to basketball. So is UCLA one of those teams that looks at this and go, you know what? This is too much of an uphill road in football. Let's just be basketball and give our money there. This is one of those programs that could make that decision.
It's interesting that you just said that. It made me think, is UCLA football Ohio State basketball?
Yeah. I mean, it could be that type of thing where that might be a decent one, honestly, if you're looking for an apples to apples, where they have these moments, but consistently it just hasn't been there. But if not now, when? They have the quarterback locked in. It's a lot on Foster, 5-7 in year one. The schedule's brutal. But as long as they have Nico Malieva, you're going to be paying attention to what they're doing this year. And they're coming to town here in November. It's a mid-November. It's the 15th of November? That's late in the year for UCLA to come out here. And it also sucks that we're getting UCLA here before we get USC here, but I digress. We'll hit the categories on the Bruins coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Make your next shopping trip a good deal better with the Meijer 7 for 7 sale. Pay just $1 each when you mix or match any 7 or more of over 1,000 participating items, like select varieties of Meijer frozen personal pizzas, extra large avocados, select varieties of Chobani Greek yogurt, and Meijer essential paper towels. Getting more for your money with the Meijer 7 for 7 sale. That's the save to bundle good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
The Fan is the official station of summertime. Sipping on a lemonade, the smell of fresh-cut grass in the air, and Common Man playing fart noises on the radio.
Was that a fart?
Ah, summer. The Fan, Ohio's summer destination.
The outdoor drama Tecumseh is back this summer. The drama, the history, and the spectacle make Tecumseh one of Ohio's most beloved traditions. Tecumseh has provided thrilling live entertainment for 50 years, and the outdoor theater at Sugarloaf Mountain will provide a safe and memorable experience for your entire family. Get tickets now at tecumsehdrama.com. This message is made possible in part by the Ohio Arts Council. Tecumseh, experience the drama.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see afternoon temperatures in the low 90s with plenty of sunshine, so don't forget the sunscreen. For tonight, mostly clear with lows overnight into the 70s with humidity building back in for Thursday. We do have a heat alert in place as our afternoon highs will be in the mid to low 90s, but the feels like, yet again, getting up into the triple digits, so make sure you're keeping yourself and your family safe. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip, and I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, UCLA, the topic of conversation on this fine first Friday. Time to hit the categories. What will be our background? Mighty Bruins, I'm told it is called. There you go.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. NIL portal grade on the Bruins bake.
So their portal really wasn't that great, to be honest.
No.
They brought in a lot of guys, but their player rating is way low. And when they bring in 31 guys like they did, usually your portal rating's going to be higher. But they're down at number 20 on the portal list. I'm giving it a C, though, because they got their quarterback in Nico, and then they maybe got their quarterback of the future because they brought in two more, in Nico's little brother Madden and then Pierce Clarkson, who came in from Ole Miss as well. So quarterback position alone makes it average for me. It would probably, though, it might be an F without Nico.
Yeah, I think that, it's an average haul. It's still puzzling to me how UCLA landed Nico Iamaleava. Like, I get he probably wasn't going to get $8 million from other schools, but
yeah.
Was any other school offering him $3-4 million? Like, I can't see where he didn't get other offers that were a couple million.
Yeah.
So many teams would be ready to play for a national championship if they had a quarterback like Nico. Like, if you imagine Nico in Ohio State's offense, are we having the conversation about, are they better than Texas? Or are we saying, no. Ohio State right now, with a quarterback of 2 years in SEC play, is better than Texas.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I mean, put him at Notre Dame. With that, I mean, maybe Carr's good. I don't know, but everything else at Notre Dame's elite.
Because Nico fought like hell against the Buckeyes in that college football or college football playoff game.
I think it's a kind of a cautionary tale of what happens when the folks around you are a big problem, and I think maybe what was really going on behind the scenes at Tennessee was much more of a pain in the neck than we were ever led to believe. So I think it's a C. I'm very curious how you build this going forward. Do you build it via recruiting? Do you via portal? Is there money going to be there on NIL? It feels like average to me. They recruit like right now they're in like the 20s. Last year they were in the 40s. Bake was right on the portal grade in terms of where all of that was. So to me it feels like a C. Would Buddy Garrity want to run their collective grade?
For basketball, absolutely. It's an A. For football, though, I think it's probably like a B, right? Like,
you see him palling around Westwood?
It's an F.
Going to Brentwood?
Everybody wants to live in L.A., right?
It's a great town, yeah. I think it's an F, too. I think this is among the most out of place he would be.
Yeah.
Is here. I think it'd be a very struggle, like him trying to talk to their alumni base. Trying to drum up some money. I think this would be very, very. I think he'd be really fish out of water. I mean, it's a little bit of Beverly Hillbillies, right? Is him running there? There's a little bit of that to it. Campus life, social life grade at UCLA.
I mean, this has to be an A, right?
Yeah.
I don't see how it could be anything else.
I mean, probably not spending too much time going to UCLA football games or UCLA basketball games, but. Yeah, it's Los Angeles. Like, that'd be sweet. If money wasn't an issue, you'd do well.
The campus is stunning. It's absolutely pristine. Poly Pavilion is awesome. It's strange that they aren't at, that they play out in Pasadena is a little bit strange. But it's stunning. I mean, it is absolutely an A+. I'm sure it's spectacular. Do they wear the right uniform grade at UCLA, Bake?
I think this is another A. This is an iconic one. The baby blue and the gold together. And it's just one of those ones that they don't change either, right? They don't change much. It is what it is. And, I love that. It's another one of those like Oklahoma the other day. Like, when you think of college football, like you see those uniforms, and this is one of them.
How much, real quick for both of you, Bake, Reese, before you give yours, how much for you guys growing up here, because the Rose Bowl was the ultimate prize and you would watch that, and UCLA played in Rose Bowls, and how much is that a part of your youth history, is seeing UCLA, USC in those Rose Bowls? Because they played in a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, huge. I think, was it? Yeah. For having Ohio State and like the history of that arena and having UCLA and USC, those were, games that had big stakes. And I think growing up, you were always drawn to the rivalry games, almost no matter what the records of the teams were, because you just got a good sense. And the video game, for me, helped out a lot of that. Because you were kind of introduced to some of these programs that you never really spent much time thinking about. And at the end of the year, you were watching, USC and UCLA, and it didn't matter, kind of how good either teams were. It helped that USC was so dominant for so long growing up. But it was always just cool to see, the different rivalries, the different fan bases. What makes college football so great.
And, the Rose Bowl appearances, that was a part of it because you expected it to always be UCLA or USC. But I think more for me, it was just you always saw that game. USC, UCLA was a nationally televised game. You always saw it. It was like Alabama, Auburn, Ohio State, Michigan. Those were games that you knew every year on that day you were going to be watching.
Uniform grade, Reese?
It's a B+. I think they wear the same color pant as they do helmet, so that helps. You kind of match. You keep that consistent. They also have, I was thinking about this the other day, the Jumpman is probably the first advertisement on a uniform, right? Because it's a Nike offshoot.
Yeah, right.
It looks great.
It does. Look, it's an A for me. There's some interesting kind of tweaks to their uniform. Like sometimes they wear a gold face mask, sometimes they wear the gray one. But I think by and large they get it right. The one thing that's pretty so pop quiz really quick: UCLA blue or Carolina blue?
Carolina blue.
Yeah, I think it's Carolina blue.
They played in the NCAA tournament a couple years ago, and I think Carolina won, but UCLA blue is pretty great, too. It's just slightly darker.
A little darker, yeah.
Slightly darker. Which player off their team would we want in scarlet and gray?
So this is my first none. I mean, you could argue Nico here, but I think that's just because you've seen him on the field. I think Julian Sain and or Lincoln Kienholz is going to be a better quarterback option than Nico for Ohio State. So this is the first one where I'm saying none. There's nobody I want.
Yeah, it'd be Nico, but only in that I think he would help compete with that quarterback room. I think there's more talent in Ohio State's quarterback room, but there's obviously the proven track record with E.A. Malieva in the UCLA quarterback room. It was interesting, like they traded quarterbacks because Joey Aguilar came from App State to UCLA, and then he went to Tennessee, and then they got Ohio State long snapper Morrow Evans.
Right. I think you're probably right. I think we don't really need any. Even as good as Nico was here, like there's a lot around him that I wouldn't want at all in scarlet and gray. All-time big man on campus at UCLA, Bake.
There is every part of me that wants to say Maurice Jones-Drew, but it's got to be Troy Aikman. I mean, Troy Aikman walks on campus, #1 NFL draft pick. Like, I'm sure Troy Aikman just writes his ticket, gets whatever he wants.
The exact same thing. I had Maurice Jones-Drew written down, but then if you're a quarterback and you've won a ton of games at your alma mater, you're king.
It's Cade McNown, and I'm going to give you 2 reasons why.
Didn't Rosen have the hot tub?
He did. McNown was Leinart before Leinart. McNown dated at UCLA Brandy Roderick, and he stole Heather Kozar from Tim Couch. And then Heather Kozar ended up marrying Tim Couch. Don't Google those names at work, but he did quite well.
Make sure I do it on my phone.
Yeah. Win it all, conference champ, respectable, or chump?
The ceiling here for UCLA is respectable, but they're a chump this year to me.
Yeah, their schedule screams chump.
It's brutal. Yeah, I think that he's going to be lucky to get to 6 wins. I think that would be kind of a win for them if they could get to 6. And then it's a question of how long do you stay with Deshaun Foster? Do you try something else? And that comes down to alumni. This is the question. We're going to have Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer going to join us here in 2 minutes. And one of the questions it'll be among the first questions. Does UCLA care about football enough? We'll do it in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Football in July, outstanding, and it's kicking off at the Pro Football Hall of Fame July 31st in Football Heaven in Canton, Ohio. And you can still grab tickets for the Hall of Fame game between the Lions and the Chargers. And then on August 2nd, 4 of the greatest of all time get immortalized in bronze at the Class of 25 enshrinement. And cap off the weekend Sunday with a concert for legends featuring Nickelback with special guest Mitchell Tenpenny. It's a gold jacket weekend. Visit ProFootballHof.com to learn more and get your tickets.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Right now, Private Selection 80% lean Angus ground beef chuck in 1-pound packages is $5.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, or whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, 20 most interesting, the UCLA Bruins. For perspective, we had it on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer joining us, locked on UCLA. I'm just going to start direct with you, bud. Does UCLA care enough about football?
I think they do. They absolutely have put in the effort this offseason. Deshaun Foster is trying to push towards that effort for this year and in the future. But I think of basketball blue bloods, UCLA has the most football potential. How about that?
Okay, let's go. I like that answer, and I'm hopeful. Right, we're all hopeful that this is it because we have memories of great UCLA teams historically. In terms of how, let me put it to you this way: how would you? Because you mentioned the potential of the basketball blue bloods. How would you build UCLA football in this day and age?
I think Deshaun Foster's already kind of set that blueprint in a sense. He's gone after the big dog of the transfer portal, and Nico Iamaleava. He's trying to get out there and promote, recruit locally while expanding a national recruiting, and then just trying to get fans in the stadium, which clearly has been an issue over the last decade plus since UCLA had Jim Mora as their head coach. But I think what he's done off the field so far, expand recruiting, get more events out there. Now it's just coming down to X's and O's and getting wins on the field to get the fans into the Rose Bowl. That's the biggest thing.
Zach, you mentioned the Rose Bowl and the fans and trying to get them there. Just so our audience understands, if you are a student at UCLA, what does that transportation look like trying to get to the Rose Bowl for a Saturday game?
Usually it's a bus to get down. Maybe they drive down and tailgate and find somebody's tailgate to crash, but it's not close. It's close to 45 minutes. You get a bad traffic day. It's not exactly down the street. You're not walking from your dorm for a 15-minute walk. This is a long commute, and sometimes the joke is those buses leave early, so do the students when it comes to the second half of the games. But I think they're trying to change that culture for student fan base, the overall fan base as a whole, in addition to the SoCal casual. That's what UCLA is trying to build for the future.
A little bit like the University of Miami then. A little bit further, but similar to University. Yeah, a little bit further, but similar to University of Miami, where you're going to have to bus them up there to get them there. So in terms of the efforts to do that, to create everything, and Deshaun was one of the great players to ever play there, what are his talking points in terms of creating energy and enthusiasm around the program?
Well, for him, for his players specifically, it's discipline, respect, and enthusiasm. That's what he wants to bring as his three pillars to the program. Now, when it comes to building some hype and energy for the program as a whole outside, getting Nico, he was kind of quoted as saying, we want the haters. We want the attention. We want the smoke, for lack of a better term, and to bring it to UCLA, get that attention, and starting with going after somebody big in the portal, coming in and building local recruiting efforts that were non-existent under Chip Kelly as the head coach. That just did not happen. UCLA forgot or just did not care to forge those relationships locally, and now UCLA had to rebuild, reestablish things from a local level before they can expand nationally as they go into a national conference, if you will, in the Big Ten, and that's what Deshaun Foster started from the ground up late in the game in 2024, and I think he's done pretty well so far, only a year plus in.
Zach, where are they in terms of, because this is where we are now, is right? We need NIL money. We got to have those things. Obviously, they got Nico. That's a big one. But are they as organized as maybe Deshaun would want them to be on that front? Is there money coming in? Is it flowing in?
I think he's been very happy. I've heard him quoted as saying, yeah, I'm very happy as what's coming in NIL-wise. But there was one quote that was confusing as UCLA switched up their NIL organization. They have an all-sports umbrella. They have a men's basketball umbrella. They have a football umbrella. And then as you're kind of hearing that, it sounds like, wait, what branch is what? And it kind of got confusing. So you mentioned that there was a little confusion as to which money was going where. But I think with them getting Nico, they clearly have enough to pony up and give money to somebody big in the portal, and they've gotten a lot of transfers coming in. It's just the big thing is with revenue sharing, is that money going to go to men's basketball more than football? That will be the big question mark going forward. What does UCLA want to push forward? Football respectability or make UCLA a super blue blood once again with Mick Cronin? I think UCLA's done a nice job competing. It's just, can they do that for years to come in the future?
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because obviously this week you saw the news at Kentucky that they're going to give most of their rev share to hoops versus football. So that's kind of a decision they made as a blue blood. I was very curious about the UCLA, like where is that money going to go? And with all the basketball history, it makes a lot of sense. You've mentioned it, and honestly, one of the reasons UCLA is in this mix for us here on the show is because of Nico. We saw him here. It's as tough a quarterback performance as I've ever seen in the horseshoe. I mean, quite literally, the shell of his helmet cracked, and he kept playing. How did that happen? How did that, because obviously they already had Aguilar, was already in the mix, already got him from the portal. How did that come about, and what can you tell us about how it's going so far with Nico there?
Well, Nico, it's rare that you kind of see someone transfer with that big of a name in the spring transfer portal without any spring practice. UCLA was already implementing a new offensive coordinator. They already had their big quarterback, quote unquote, in Joey Aguilar. But then when somebody of that caliber came available, Deshaun's like, well, let's make this happen. He has SoCal ties. UCLA had recruited his younger brother, Madden, and Madden's high school teammate. That relationship kind of faltered. But when Nico became available and wanted to come home, had a clear opportunity to probably start over Joey, UCLA was like, as long as we're competitive in the NIL market for Nico, where there wasn't a lot for him to go other than UCLA, the Bruins were like, we'll take him on, get a clear QB1, and then unfortunately for Joey Aguilar, he was left without a job until he went to Tennessee. So I think as long as they were close to the expectations, the SoCal ties, and the mending of that relationship when Madden had flipped from UCLA to Arkansas before transferring back, I think was able that allowed UCLA to go get somebody as good as Nico in the spring transfer portal.
Zach, you never know what's true or what's not when you see when the guy leaves and then you hear kind of like, you know, the former program kind of body bags him a little bit, and some of that certainly happened with Nico. One of the things that you heard consistently was there's a lot going on around him in terms of the people close to him, family, so forth and so on. Have you seen any of that since he's been at UCLA?
From what I've heard is Nico is, you know, he is a soft-spoken, he's a good leader, he's a good man, he's a good quarterback, he's still got to learn on the field, but it's not Nico the problem, it's all about what's around him. And when I was hearing about his younger brother Madden's recruitment, they were still looking for potentially deals when Madden had already been recruited and committed to UCLA before eventually flipping. And so it's kind of, you've heard about the dad, Big Nick. You've heard, is that the problem? Was it the offense? Were they asking for more money? You could probably see both sides were to blame between Tennessee and Nico's camp, if you will. But I think Nico, the guy himself, is probably the perfect guy to have in the locker room. It's can the distraction in the outside camp keep it quiet and not too much of a distraction heading into this season and future seasons.
That's so consistent to everything we heard out of Tennessee, too, and it just makes you feel bad for the kid, right? Like, because he's doing – it seems like he does the right things, but the dad and some of the stuff around it are problematic. Problematic would also be a word that I think you could use to describe the schedule for the Bruins this year. This is robust. Coming off of a 5-7, you have as you mentioned, the momentum in the offseason, but this schedule is a brutal one. How do you define success for UCLA this year with Nico in what could be his only year there, but Deshaun needing a bounce back in year 2 in the Big Ten?
I think for UCLA, they finished 2024 on a good hot streak. The beginning of the 2024 season I thought was very brutal in terms of travel, in terms of their opponents, in conference and out of conference. I think UCLA has a chance to keep that momentum to start in 2025. And if they want to break that win total of 5.5, they got to get to a bowl game. I think the bare minimum for Deshaun Foster to kind of get them as that hot college, that hot university in the transfer portal window by the time November, December comes around, you got to get to a bowl game, 6-7 wins, and be that exciting 7-win team, right? Sometimes we see those 7-5 teams that are fun to watch. You get Nico throwing the ball around and keep them excited. I think if they can get to 6 to 7 wins, That'd be good. Everybody's dream, especially as a basketball football school, is to be in Indiana. I think that's a little unrealistic to be this year. But the Bruins, if they can get past Utah and a sneaky UNLV team, there is a realistic opportunity they could be undefeated come October when Penn State comes to town. Doing that is a completely different discussion. If the Bruins are get to 6 wins or more, they got to race to that in the beginning half of the season.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule, really is, including a trip here in the middle of November. I'll get you out of here on this one, and then let's go away from the football and just look athletic department at large. You got our guy Martin Germain there. We know him well. He was here apprenticed under Gene Smith years ago. You're a year into a Big Ten experience at UCLA. How is it going? What's working? What isn't?
It's a unique experience, right? Because Martin had to hire quite a few coaches heading into year one in the Big Ten, including football like Deshaun Foster. But I think if you're UCLA, overall, they were able to win some conference championships, compete. Obviously, the big money ones, you look at football and basketball, you would wish they could be a little bit higher up in those rankings. But you look for UCLA in sports they could dominate, like a women's soccer, like a baseball and a softball. They're close to the top women's basketball. They were close to winning that regular season championship and got to a Final Four. So in sports that they could dominate or elevate since leaving the Pac-12, I think they proved that. What they want to is where all the national eyes are, football and men's basketball, be more consistent. So while they didn't exactly maybe impress in most eyes, they still were a successful athletics department as a whole. It's how do they manage the travel after year one to year two and not get Mick Cronin to complain about the travel every year.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that one, Zach. Hey, man, really appreciate it. Great stuff. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, there he goes. Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer joining us. Locked on UCLA on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Get you officially endorsed in 3 things on a First Friday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate you snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your significant other will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, it stops your snoring. That's the point. It's quick, it's comfortable, and it's an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea. And he's helped countless patients breathe easier, sleep better, and live healthier, more energized lives. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Schedule your appointment now with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that's sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Now open. Zumbizi Bay's brand new conservation tower. 3 slides, 1 tower, and endless thrills. Only at
Zumbizi Bay.
Plan your visit at ZumbiziBay.com.
Colin, Man, and Timmy here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Timmy?
Yeah, we got a lot of fun things going on this month, like karaoke.
And crab legs.
No, not yet. Live bands. We've got food trucks in the outdoor valet area.
Crab legs.
Oh, not yet. On select weekend days throughout the summer. Okay, now crab legs.
And all-you-can-eat crab legs at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Join Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on us. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, crab legs.
Oh, yeah, we love crab legs.
Time for crab legs?
Okay, crab legs.
Get cash for clunkers during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HR-V two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic four-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com. Morning Juice is live on YouTube. Weekday mornings starting at 6. Or on demand whenever you want it. Yeah, whenever. Bobby Carpenter's at your beck and call. And Tito's there too, to clean the toilets. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
It's the biggest jewelry event of the season this week at Diamonds Direct. Shop now through Sunday and take an extra 20% off engagement rings, earrings, bracelets, and all fashion jewelry. But don't miss the main event this weekend, July 25th through 27th. For 3 days only, top designers will be in store with exclusive collections you can only find at Diamonds Direct. Shop now to save and join us this weekend for the full VIP experience. Hurry, this limited time offer ends Sunday. Visit diamondsdirect.com for more details and to book your appointment.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Nationwide Picnic with the Pops presents the Pride of the Buckeyes, the Ohio State University Marching Band. Don your scarlet and gray and join the Columbus Symphony Orchestra for a night of fight songs, battle cries, fireworks, and more. July 25th and 26th at the Columbus Commons. Visit picnicwiththepops.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody, work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll asks, for you to consider this Ohio State football season, the 2025 season, a success, what's the minimum accomplishment? Win the Big Ten championship, win a playoff game, win multiple playoff games, or win the national championship. 30% say they would consider it a success if Ohio State wins a playoff game. 29% say win multiple playoff games. 26% say winning the Big Ten championship would be the lowest form of success. And then 13% say win the national championship.
I think it's beat Michigan. And I think if you get to a college football national semifinal, like I'm going to start. I think I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to view the national semifinals as the Final Four. So if a college basketball team reaches the Final Four, like you hang a banner, I think that's probably where we're going to get with college football in the Final Four. Because if you, like last year, for example, if you would have lost the Texas game, is that season a failure? Having boat raced Tennessee and boat raced Oregon in the Rose Bowl, I don't know. I think it's just so hard to win a national title now that, to me, if you get to the semifinal, tip your hat and say, good season, boys. But beat Michigan, get to the semifinal, that to me would be viewed as a success. Even one win, beat Michigan in the playoff, I think would be a success.
Yeah, I'm there. Appear in 2 playoff games, but beat Michigan.
Beat Michigan, play in 2 playoff games, fine. I could go with that too. Bake, you cool with that?
You got to beat Michigan. You have to.
That's the one.
Have to this year.
All right. It's a First Friday. Hit it, guys.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday, officially endorsed, because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
You drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good, because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar, because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
All right, it's going to be hot, right? Rest of this weekend, it's going to be hot. End of summer, it's going to be hot. So I was thinking of something that would be refreshing, but also kind of set the mood for you a little bit. So you guys have heard of the company Liquid Death, right? So they have a peach-flavored tea in a can. Here's what I like most about this is most flavored teas just load you with sugar. This one's only got 4 grams in it. So pretty low sugar intake on it. It's delicious. Here's the real treat. So you take like one of these big Yetis, which if you watch me I'm constantly sucking down these things while I'm doing the show. So you take a big Yeti, you fill it up with ice. You take 2 ounces of your favorite bourbon or whiskey. So we'll use Whiskey War here. Put 2 ounces of that in the bottom of it, and then fill the Yeti with the peach liquid death. It's called Rest in Peach. And enjoy that. You could even garnish it with a little. We're almost to Red Haven season, so you could even garnish it with a fresh peach if you'd like. But it's a delight, and will certainly work for this fine First Friday. All right, time for 3 things. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
Number 1 for me, this is a direct quote. This was last night. We were outside kind of enjoying things, and Bootsy had found like a wallet that had $8 in it that he had misplaced. He was unaware that where the wallet was, and he was looking for it, and there was $8 in it. And he was all jacked up when he saw it. And my wife said, "We need to work on you learning how to save a little bit." And Bootsy's response to that was, "Mom, I'm 9. And I said, that's fine. I don't mind. He's 9. Go buy more stuffed animals. Enjoy yourself, buddy.
Yeah, live a little, damn it.
I'm 9, Mom.
Baseball's trade deadline's in about 8 days. Buster Olney had the report yesterday the Guardians will not be sending Stephen Kwan anywhere. To that I say good. He's eligible to be a free agent after the 2027 season. Now, I don't know if I've said this on the show, but in 2028, David Blitzer, who has majority ownership in every other league but Major League Baseball, has an option to purchase the majority stake of the Cleveland Guardians. Tinfoil Hat Eric hopes that Blitzer's gotten in touch with Kwan's representation and said, if you can just hold on until the end of the 2027 season, when I purchase the majority stake in the Cleveland Guardians, I will reward you for your service. It'll be 30. So still time.
Still time.
Still time for Stephen Kwan.
My first thing, and we talked a little bit about this in Hey Guys, but Ozzy Osbourne, first of all, 76, passes away yesterday. I thought that dude had been 76 for like 30 years already. I couldn't believe he was just 76. But at my former job, I was lucky enough to see a lot of these great rock singers of the past, you know, Steven Tyler, Kiss, Gene Simmons, Alice Cooper. I was able to see a bunch of them in concert. Ozzy is one that I never got to see, though, and obviously now we'll never get the chance to. Wish I could have made that happen before Ozzy went home.
It's so cool because this can be my number 2. As I mentioned before, music is timeless with kids now because it's all just on demand. So we went through that a little bit, and I played some of the Sabbath stuff, some of the Ozzy stuff, which again, I'm too young for. As old as I am, I'm too young for that in real time. So it was all, you know, classic rock when I heard it. But I would also say that his reality show is maybe the funniest one ever. I mean, it's really right there. The reality show they did, the Osbournes, is unreal.
Amazing that you couldn't understand him talking, but hear every word clearly when he sang.
And you could too on the talk. And he was, guess what? He was like Larry David. He was right about everything. The wife and the kids were constantly out of line.
Yeah, from 02 to 05, the Osbournes aired. And it was, for me, my introduction to Ozzy Osbourne.
Me too.
And kind of the first look I think we all got into the lives of ridiculously rich and incredibly famous people. And yeah, I related so much to Ozzy because damn kids and Sharon were just always in his business. All it felt like he wanted to do was just relax. But rest in peace to the Prince of Darkness.
My second thing, Adam Schefter tweeted out yesterday, Josh Allen, it looks like he's standing against a wall. The uniforms that the Bills are going to wear in their final regular season game at High Bank Stadium this year, God, that red helmet is beautiful. Bring the red helmet back. Come on, Buffalo, get it done.
Right. I think they're doing it right. I think the white one's superior, but the red one as an alternate it works. And to do it in the final game of Ralph Wilson to pay homage to those Bills teams, I think that's just awesome. I love that. Finally, quickly, number 3 for me. This isn't hard on the conference championship thing. I don't know why the Big Ten is making it so hard. 5 automatic bids for the conference champions and seeds 6 through 16 done using the BCS format. The end. That's all you need to do. It's solved. Then you have all this nonsense.
Final thing for me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers released a video today of Deion Sanders interacting with coaches and players at Buccaneers training camp, which is in Tampa, very, very far from Boulder, which reportedly Deion has not been to since April's spring game. priorities. I know he's dealing with health issues.
Did you do Colorado?
We did 20 most interesting, and it seems like it's fine that he hasn't been around the program in a physical sense. He's reportedly kept up talking with their athletic director, with the coaches, but the idea that it feels like an odd time to prioritize that for Coach Prime. He's in Colorado gear, but if the reporting's correct where he hasn't been to Boulder since April, like, I don't know what you're doing in Tampa, man.
And by the way, Boulder in the summer is a heaven. Like, it's when you want to be there.
Final thing for me, Rothman and Ice coming up next, so don't go anywhere. Tyvis Powell pulling double duty today, filling in for AR with Matty Ice.
All he does is work, apparently. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. Enjoy your first Friday, everybody. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Tinley.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Jermaine are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
Friday, July 25th is Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. Visit the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, the Department of Insurance, and other state agency booths. Come learn about mental health resources available to you and to your family. Join us on Friday, July 25th for Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Did you know their co-founders are Ohio natives? Well, you should. Window Nation has been replacing windows in the Columbus region for over 15 years. Not only does Window Nation know what windows work best for Ohio homeowners like you, they're also local to the area. And right now, you can take advantage of Window Nation's biggest sale of the year. Remember this number, 50% off. All window styles, all from Window Nation. 50% off plus 0 interest for 5 whole years. Yeah, I said that. 5 whole years, 2030. No interest on the windows from Window Nation. Plus, they'll install your new windows in 1 day or less. Get the windows you want for 50% off plus no interest until 2030. What are you waiting for? Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today to get your free quote on replacement windows. Again, I can't stress this enough. You do not want to miss out on this deal. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com. And tell them T-Bone sent you.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I'm gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HindererMotorCompany.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/J.